70%. Chapter 421. Victory. Lin Haoyang's heart was hot, violent blood comprehending between life and death, Tianfang comprehending the dragon 2-3 swords. I am afraid that his third move, only the swordsman's swordsmanship, can make him comprehend 1 or 2. But this also made Lin Haoyang helpless. Although he realized that sword technique was fast, the conditions needed were too great. After comprehending the third sword technique in the swordsman's swordsmanship, what did he need to comprehend his fourth style? This gave Lin Haoyang a headache. Just as Lin Haoyang had a headache, the Sea Clan demonic beasts and Jianshu and others had reached an agreement to enter together and obtain the essence of the earth. After some preparations, Kai Xiao took the lead and jumped directly into the ocean of magma. At the moment when he touched the magma, Kai Xiao urged the cultivation technique to directly display the fire escape, which turned into a flame, and went straight under the magma ocean. Lin Haoyang's eyes condensed. Kai Xiao all the way, apart from showing a unique sensitivity to the marrow of the earth, it didn't show much about its strength. But the strength that Kai Xiao showed at this moment made Lin Haoyang a little frightened. If nothing else, this fire escape made him unable to catch up. If you can't catch up, don't mention other things. Puff puff. The sound of falling into the water continued to be heard. This was the side of the human race and the demonic beasts, and quickly rushed into the ocean of eyes. Not all of them entered the ocean. Among them, there were about a dozen demonic beasts and 5 or 6 human races standing in place, and did not move. These people and the demonic beasts, cultivation technique, and physical bodies are innately conflicting with the environment here. Coming here is the limit. If they want them to enter the magma ocean and meet the research giant, they are 80% likely to stay. Here it is. So these people and demonic beasts stayed here. Lin Haoyang injected more spirit power into the spirit power shield so that it could block the high temperature of the magma. Even so, Lin Haoyang could still feel a blazing heat. The temperature of this magma might have reached 2,000 or 3,000 degrees. Just when Lin Haoyang was shocked, the magma in front of him squirmed suddenly, and some unmelted gravel in the magma suddenly gathered, and finally turned into a magma giant. These magma giants are about 20 meters long, like those who chased and killed the white worms before. At this moment, under the riot, the entire magma ocean began to tremble. Lin Haoyang simply counted. The number of these magma giants was about 50, and the cultivation base was mostly on the first and second floors of Nascent Soul. It was equivalent to 50 nascent souls killing together, and even Jianshu's complexion changed. If this were dealt with alone, it would be impossible for either the human race or the sea race to stop it. No wonder, the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda has been opened several times, and the earth's marrow here has not been taken away, and there are not enough manpower to pass this first level. Seeing that the magma giant was killed, Zhangju and Yan each made an effort to stop a magma giant about 25 meters in size. These two are larger in size and should be the heads of the magma giant, and their strength has reached the level of the second floor of Nascent Soul. As for the others and demonic beasts, the strong one will stop one alone, and the weak ones will join forces to deal with one. Lin Haoyang is not stupid. There is no need to fill his face at this time, thinking about practicing with someone around him, and stopping a giant magma. Lin Haoyang didn't try his best. The person who joined with Lin Haoyang didn't try his best either. Lin Haoyang didn't know how strong the man was, but it didn't matter, the pressure was not on their side. Lin Haoyang felt the power of these magma giants at the first day of the match, and the magma giant punched down. In addition to the violent spirit power of the fire, there was also the strength of the opponent, which really surprised Lin Haoyang. But fortunately, Lin Haoyang was not weak, and coupled with his own immunity to flames, he could barely catch the flame giant's attack. Lin Haoyang can catch it, but the other person can't. His physical strength is far behind Lin Haoyang. Therefore, the combination of Lin Haoyang and that person became Lin Haoyang as a meat shield, while the other was the main attacker. Together, the two could still suppress this flame giant. Except for Lin Haoyang, wars in other places have begun. Sun Ning and Yang Bin stopped a flame giant together. Both are not weak. Although the flame giant is strong, they still can't hold on to the two. Compared with the human race, the sea race has to work harder. In the magma world, they can't show much combat power. In addition, the magma giant fire spirit is too violent, and it often takes 3 tier 4 top demonic beasts to join forces. Stop a magma giant. Compared with nascent soul and tier 5 demonic beasts, the magma giant is still weaker in strength. He does not have nascent soul and no inner alchemy. He can only rely on a huge force and a violent fire spirit power to support the field. In fact, he has reached the strength. The 5th rank, it should be said that the physical strength has reached the 5th rank. The battle went on tragically. Wounded people appeared on both the human race and demonic beasts, but death did not appear. Whether it's the human race or the demonic beasts, teammates still help when the person on their side is about to die. After all, now, if the strength of the two sides differs too much, the resources that will be available later will be greatly reduced. During the period, Kai Xiao also made several shots, all of them were helping human races. Kai Xiao relied on his own advantage, attacked, and defeated the magma giant several times. A total of 3 magma giants died in his hands. With such a record, even Jianzhu and Yan are incomparable. After a quarter of an hour, the sword sea disperses, and a 25-meter magma giant descends, transforming into a fire spirit power, and blending into the magma ocean. When Jianzhu killed the magma giant, on the other side, the 9 ghosts behind Yan also defeated a 25-meter magma giant. The two vacated their hands and turned around to help other people quickly. In addition to them, many powerful people also solved their opponents and began to help others. On the Sea Clan side, in addition to the descendants of the 5 and 7 monster emperors, there are also 4 demonic beasts, who have solved the magma giant together. In other words, there are a total of 10 Sea Clan demonic beasts that can kill Tier 5 demonic beasts. On the Terran side, there were a total of 7 people who solved their opponents, and the 7 great combinations. Except for Lin Haoyang and Sun Ning, everyone else solved their opponents with good methods. In addition to these 5 people, Broken Blade and another black-robed man solved the opponent. In total, there are a total of 8 people who have the ability to fight beyond the 5th rank. However, Lin Haoyang didn't know how many of them had hidden their strength. Even he himself was also hiding his strength. As more and more people vacated their hands, the magma giant gradually fell into a disadvantage. After about 2 o'clock in the morning, the battle gradually came to a halt. Surprisingly, there were no casualties of demonic beasts and humans in this battle. If this were put outside, no one would believe it. More than 80 human races and demonic beasts have joined forces to defeat 50 nascent soul magma giants, which is really shocking. After this battle, more than 20 human races and demonic beasts lost their combat effectiveness. In other words, only more than 50 human races and demonic beasts were left to fight. At the end of the battle, Kai Xiao's figure flashed and appeared in front of everyone. Compared with before, his face was much paler. He took a few shots and consumed a lot of money. Although it was expensive, Kai Xiao couldn't stop his excitement and shouted, "Everyone, the magma guard that guarded the core of the earth is gone, it's time to collect the core of the earth." 71%. Chapter 422. Listening to this, the dignity of the previous battle dissipated, and everyone was looking forward to it. They were desperate for this opportunity. Now the opportunity is right in front of you. Can you still cherish it? But this time, everyone was obedient, and seeing that Kai Xiao hadn't moved, no one moved. Although the treasure is good, it still has to be fate. Lin Haoyang did not move. Although he thought there should be some restrictions after this, it is better to act with everyone. "Human, you go ahead, otherwise you won't be able to divide your heart at all," Yan said expressionlessly. Kai Xiao's expression was gloomy, as if he hadn't expected things to become like this. During this period, no one on the human race spoke for Kai Xiao. Kai Xiao's expression changed for a while, and finally said, "Okay, I'm the first one to go." After adjusting his breath for a while, Kai Xiao left, and the others did not hesitate to heal, and followed one after another. Lin Haoyang remained calm and collected Junyu behind the colorful thousand clouds. He followed him not far away, and a sort of killing intent appeared in his palms. He was a little worried about these people. During the period, Sun Ning and Yang Bin also leaned over. In the previous battle, the two joined hands to block a magma giant without much damage. It's just that Yang Bin was injured by the internal organs in order to resist the power of the magma giant. Lin Haoyang just nodded symbolically, and then the three followed them to the depths of the magma ocean. According to Xiao Jinlong's calculations, this is the core of the earth that has not been harvested for countless years, and the amount must be a lot. Even if it is used by 5 or 6 people to make breakthroughs, it is completely enough. But the more he went, the more doubts in Lin Haoyang's heart. They seemed to have deviated from the route to where the heart of the earth was. No, it should be said that it has deviated from the largest piece. It was not clear before. Now, Lin Haoyang can feel that there are 2 pieces of the core of the earth, one large and one small. The large one is enough for 5 or 6 people, the small one is only enough for 2 or 3 people, and the small one is nearly half. And what Kai Shao took everyone to at the moment was that small place. This place is full of fire. Spirit power. If it is not very familiar with the core of the earth, it will not be able to distinguish the exact direction, plus the direction Qishao is going at the moment. There is indeed the core of the earth, even white worms and white shrimps, no problems have been found. Lin Haoyang also relied on Xiaojun to discover. 2 fellow Taoist, I think there are some problems. Lin Haoyang spoke to Sun Ning and Yang Bin. The expressions of the 2 of them moved. They didn't see any problems, and they asked, Senior brother Lin, are there any powerful restrictions ahead, that Kai Shao deliberately took us there, and then wanted to swallow the heart of the earth? Yang Bin frowned. If that was the case, then Kai Shao was too courageous. Killing some people behind his back, the Dao still screamed, but he really smashed everyone on the bright side. Not only Kai Shao couldn't hold it, but even sect behind Kai Shao couldn't hold it. Lin Haoyang shook his head. Even if Kai Shao was greedy, he didn't dare to do so. After that, Lin Haoyang told the 2 of the guesses in his heart. This Kai Shao is too greedy, isn't he afraid of being discovered by the Sea clan and beating him alive? I'm afraid no one will save him at that time. Sun Ning dissatisfied. Lin Haoyang shook his head. Sun Ning was still a little too naive. It's useless. At that time, he only needs to say that those hidden are for the human race. At that time, under the trend of interest, Jian Shu and others will definitely help. Yang Bin said. Lin Haoyang glanced at Yang Bin. It seemed that in this world, not all fools, he did not know how a simple person like Sun Ning lived in such a cruel cultivation world. Brother Yang said it was right. If he was discovered, the human race would protect him. If he was not discovered, he would make a fortune on his own. Why not do it? Lin Haoyang continued. Sun Ning looked angry. She had never thought so much, and she hated this kind of person the most. Senior brother Lin, what should we do now? Expose him. That's boring. Since he wants to play, let's play with him. I already know another place in the heart of Tibet. When we find a chance to leave, we will collect it. Lin Haoyang said. Listening to this, Sun Ning and Yang Bin smiled. If that is the case, then that would be great. But, how do we leave? Leaving suddenly at this time will definitely attract the attention of others. Yang Bin said. It's okay. Since Kai Shao dares to do this, he will definitely let a group of people leave, and he will figure out a way for us. After a stick of incense, the underground magma temperature suddenly soared, among which the fire spirit power surged, making it difficult for those who are not good at fire spirit power to move on. In particular, some people were injured in the first place, but at this moment they were burned by the fire spirit power, and they could no longer move on. At this time, Kai Shao's eyes flashed. If there are fewer people who divide the Earth's marrow, then the Earth's marrow will be less. Naturally, there is no big problem. Needless to say, Kai Shao, Lin Haoyang, Sun Ning, and Yang Bin stopped one after another, pretending that they couldn't stand the violent spirit power and high temperature. Especially Lin Haoyang. At this moment, the flame lines under his skin disappeared, the blood in his chest was surging, and his face was even more red. At this moment, he looked like he couldn't stand the environment here. Not only Lin Haoyang, but also more than a dozen people, and even demonic beasts, many of them behaved like this. Although the treasure is good, you can enjoy it if you have fate. Those who can't bear the high temperature here, let's retreat. Jian Shu said. On the other side, Yan didn't talk nonsense, just glanced at the demonic beasts who couldn't hold on. Although those demonic beasts were unwilling, they immediately turned around and swam out of the magma. Not to mention anything else, demonic beasts is still incomparable in the bloodline suppression. Part of the Sea clan withdrew. Lin Haoyang and the 3 sighed softly, then turned around and swam to the magma overseas, as if giving up this competition. There are more than a dozen people who have made such a move, and there are only about 10 people left who can continue to move forward, and there are only more than 10 left on the demonic beast side. Lin Haoyang, Sun Ning, and Yang Bin left, causing Jian Shu to frown. In his eyes, these 2 should not be so weak. However, it was not the time to consider these at this moment. Jian Shu moved his body and continued to follow Kai Shao to the depths of the magma sea. When Jian Shu and the others left, a smile appeared on Lin Haoyang's face, and it was time for them to perform. The people who stopped at this moment were those who were unable to succeed, and it was rare for anyone to pay attention to whom, and went straight out of the magma ocean. Suddenly, the 3 of Lin Haoyang flashed and completely disappeared before everyone's eyes. Soon, the three of Lin Haoyang appeared in another direction, just the opposite of Kai Xiao and the others. If you don't look closely, you won't notice at all. Some of the geocentric aura they felt before was emitted from here. After Lin Haoyang, Sun Ning and Yang Bin looked at each other, they moved and shot at the direction of the heart of the earth. At this time, the unsupportive color on Lin Haoyang's three faces gradually dissipated, and the flame lines under Lin Haoyang's skin appeared again. What is even more bizarre is that those flame lines are actually absorbing the spirit power of the fire here, and the flame lines are constantly growing. If possible, Lin Haoyang is willing to stay here for cultivation, probably because of the influence of the core of the earth. Cultivation here is no worse than cultivation in the secret realm of Qianyuan Mountain. 71%. Chapter 423. However, Lin Haoyang had no intention of cultivating here at the moment. First, getting the core of the earth was the top priority. Lin Haoyang and the three people went all the way down, and the temperature got higher and higher along the way. The temperature once approached more than 4,000 degrees, and the surrounding magma sea turned from red to purple. At this point, there is almost only the fire spirit power left in the air. The cultivation speed here is almost 5 or 6 times faster than that of the outside world. Even without the marrow of the earth, this place can also be used as a secret realm. But unfortunately, although this place is good, it can't be taken out. Soon after, the sea will flood in and it will be completely destroyed. After another quarter of an hour, Lin Haoyang and the others finally saw the target. By this point, the magma had turned into an extremely thick purple, and the terrifying heat could only allow Lin Haoyang and the three to support a spirit power shield. The spirit power shield, driven by the combined efforts of the three golden core peaks, has reached the level of nascent soul in its protection, and it can withstand this terrifying temperature. The spirit power of Sun Ning and Yang Bin is white, and Lin Haoyang's spirit power is black. Originally, according to the cultivation technique of Heavenly Tribulation of Good Fortune Week, Lin Haoyang's spirit power should be green. But Lin Haoyang only cultivated the cultivation technique part of Heavenly Tribulation of Good Fortune Zhou, and the lack of spirit power did not change. In addition, the level of the Buddha Zan Zhen Ju is higher than the Good Fortune Week Heavenly Tribulation, and the two can only be based on the Good Fortune Week Heavenly Tribulation. The two colors of black flowed, with a hint of red interspersed in it, against the surrounding purple magma. There is a lotus about 100 meters in front of the three of them. The lotus flower is not magma, it should be a kind of ore, which cannot melt in this terrifying magma temperature. However, the three of them did not pay attention to refining. The 6 lotus seeds in the center of the lotus flower completely attracted the attention of the three. It is a bit biased to say that they are lotus seeds. These lotus seeds are not one by one, but a liquid about the size of a fist, floating in the center of the refining and chemical industry. Needless to ask, this thing is their goal, this time the marrow of the earth. The treasure was right in front of them, but Lin Haoyang and the three dared not move rashly. Around the lotus flower, there were a fire toad and a fire dragonfly. The fire toad squatted under the lotus flower, and the fire dragonfly stood on top of the lotus flower. You don't need to look at these two things. These two things must have been created by the master of the 8th stage mysterious tower wind to protect the heart of the earth. Originally, Lin Haoyang thought that there were no obstacles, but he didn't expect that there was a guardian beast here. Seeing this, the strength of the two guardian beasts has reached the nascent soul late stage, which is much stronger than the previous magma giants. If it is the nascent soul early stage, Lin Haoyang and the three dare to try 1 or 2, but now they have reached the nascent soul late stage, and if they go to the nascent soul late stage, they will die. Lin Haoyang and the three are not so stupid. Brother Lin, how about changing now? Sun Ning asked. Lin Haoyang also has a bitter face, and he can't help it. Nascent soul late stage, how to play this? Suddenly, Lin Haoyang's eyes moved, and he suddenly remembered that little golden dragon seems to have the characteristic of blinding perception. Before, the green dragon Transcends Tribulation was able to steal the Transcends Tribulation liquid by relying on little golden dragon's skill. Since even Heavenly Tao can hide it, it should be okay to fool these two guard beasts. In Dantian, Lin Haoyang's divine sense avatar asked. Xiaojin, are you sure? Yes, but this thing is not the same as Heavenly Tao. They are just guardian beasts made by the strong, and their thinking is dead. As long as the marrow of the earth disappears, they will run away. Xiao Jinlong said. Lin Haoyang frowned. Is it so troublesome? In other words, although they can obtain the core of the earth, they have to withstand the equivalent of 2 tier 5 demonic beasts. He was really not sure that he could handle the coverage attacks of 2 Tier 5 top-grade demonic beasts. It only takes a moment. I'm afraid he can't hold it. 2. I have a way to avoid the perception of the 2 guardian beasts, but these 2 guardian beasts are not real demonic beasts, but are made by people. In other words, as long as I take away the marrow of the earth, the 2 guardian beasts will launch a covering attack. To be honest, I can't hold it. Therefore, if you want to take away the heart of the earth, you can only attract the 2 guardian beasts by the 2, and create a chance for me to escape. Lin Haoyang said. As soon as these words came out, Sun Ning and Yang Bin fell into silence. Lin Haoyang's methods were aside for the time being, but to attract the attention of the 2 guardian beasts, if this one might not be good, it would just cost their lives. Although the core of the earth is good, they still don't use it now, and the identity of 1 or 2 people is not lacking in this kind of treasure. As long as they wait a few years, their masters will naturally find spiritual things for them to help break through and transform the gods. In fact, Lin Haoyang is the same. Even if they can't find the heart of the earth, since they have few people in their line, Jilingxi will definitely find a spiritual thing for him to help transform the gods. However, Lin Haoyang has always insisted on relying on oneself by chance. If Jilingxi can no longer help him in the future, wouldn't his path be gone? If you too are worried, you can just let it go. There is no need to lose your life for the treasure, or wait for Kai Xiao to come, let him attract firepower, and then make plans. Lin Haoyang said again. After Sun Ning and Yang Bin thought about it, Yang Bin had already retreated, but before he could speak, Sun Ning spoke first. Senior brother Lin, leave the task of attracting firepower to the 2 of me. Go get some more and get a chance. It's best to rely on yourself. Listening to this, Yang Bin looked helpless. Of course, he was tempted. His master was not in harmony with Tao, but in the spirit of God. Even if he cultivates to the top of nascent soul in the future, when he wants to attack the god, his master may not be able to provide him with spiritual objects such as the heart of the earth. After all, there are more than a dozen disciples under his master. If every disciple breaks through and goes to the master to ask for the heart of the earth, his master can't stand such a search. He had retired before, because he didn't want Sun Ning to take a risk, but now Sun Ning wants to try it, then he has no reason to refuse. Since the uncle is willing to give it a try, I also want the heart of the earth, I can attract a guardian beast. Yang Bin said. Seeing the 2 of them agreed, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed, but he didn't dare to take it carelessly. If the 2 of them died here, I'm afraid Longtu's family would want to kill him. If Sun Yi knew that Lin Haoyang was using Sun Ning as bait, the knife in Sun Yi's hand would have to be cut on him. This matter can't be impatient. The 3 of them conspired carefully, and then they began to act. By now, Xiao Jinlong could not only cover himself, but even Lin Haoyang's physical body could cover it. When Xiao Jinlong's skills were activated, Lin Haoyang disappeared into the eyes of the 2 of them as if they had used an invisibility charm. In addition to the 2 guardian beasts, the terrifying high temperature here is also a test for Lin Haoyang. Without the spirit power support of Sun Ning and Yang Bin, with him alone, the terrifying high temperature here cannot be stopped. At this time, the little golden dragon breathed out a dragon breath, and a golden air current enveloped Lin Haoyang. This air current could isolate the high temperature. Lin Haoyang was protected by the golden air current so that he could approach the lotus flower alone. This golden air current is the dragon vein energy refined by the little golden dragon, which is extremely precious. With the help of the little golden dragon, Lin Haoyang finally came to the lotus flower, but Lin Haoyang still did not dare to approach the 2 guardian beasts, and could only wait for the 2 guardian beasts to leave. Soon, the 10-breath time agreed with Sun Ning and Yang Bin arrived, and the 2 attacked each and fell on a guardian beast. Crack, squeak. The 2 guardian beasts were alarmed, and the injuries of the 2 had no effect on them, but in an instant, the 2 guardian beasts chased them. When the guardian beast left, Lin Haoyang rushed up to the lotus flower, and 6 groups of the heart of the earth appeared in front of him. 71%. Chapter 424. Looking at the 6 earth marrows, Lin Haoyang's heart was hot. If these 6 earth marrows flowed to the outside world, not to mention the creation of 6 transformation gods, there must be 2 or 3. Although the 3 transformation gods cannot change the current situation, they can increase the strength of the human race, which is also good. However, Lin Haoyang was not that great. He couldn't do it selflessly to dedicate these cores of the earth, and it was impossible for Lin Haoyang to take all these cores of the earth out. If it drives the guardian beast mad, I'm afraid he will have to explain it here today. Looking at the 2 people, Sun Ning and Yang Bin, who attracted firepower, Lin Haoyang did not hesitate anymore. A colorful stream of light appeared in his hand, instantly enveloping the four cores of the earth. Roar! The moment the colorful streamer enveloped the heart of the earth, the two guardian beasts felt a sense of anger, and they immediately abandoned Sun Ning and Yang Bin, and immediately turned back. When the two guardian beasts withdrew, Sun Ning and Yang Bin breathed a sigh of relief. Just now, the two used a Tier 5 speed talisman, which was not enough for the two guardian beasts to catch up. The aftermath of the attacks of the two guardian beasts still made the two of them surging in energy and blood. Without checking for a while, the violent fire spirit power poured into the spirit power shield, and Sun Ning was burned by the high temperature. On the lotus flower platform, Lin Haoyang took away the four cores of the earth before the two guardian beasts returned, and only two remained in the lotus flower. Before leaving, Lin Haoyang also broke off a lotus flower petal. Just after touching it, he felt the extremely pure fire spirit power in the lotus flower. The total amount of spirit power contained in such a lotus flower petal is probably greater than the total amount of spirit power contained in the 3 top-grade spirit stones of the fire attribute. Unfortunately, there is no time for him to move the entire lotus flower away, otherwise the spirit power he needs before he advances to nascent soul will be enough. After Lin Haoyang left the lotus flower for 2 breaths, the two guardian beasts rushed back and saw that 4 of the earth's marrows were missing. The eyes of the two guardian beasts were red, as if they had touched some kind of restrictions. After searching, the two guardian beasts failed to find the target, and as expected by Lin Haoyang, the two guardian beasts began to covertly attack. At this point, Lin Haoyang only had 3 breathing times to escape, and when it was more deadly, the place was full of purple lava with terrifying temperature. 3 breaths. If he were outside, Lin Haoyang would have escaped a distance of several kilometers, but here, he could escape a distance of 100 meters. At this time, the guardian beast's attack fell, instantly covering all areas within a radius of 500 meters. Lin Haoyang took advantage of the little golden dragon's dragon veins to avoid the fire toad in a dangerous way, but after a palm, Lin Haoyang was rolled around by the turbulent magma and completely lost his direction. Before he stood firm, a flame suddenly shot, and the fire dragonfly's attack came again. Although it was a ranged attack, the power of the flame from the fire dragonfly's wings had reached the nascent soul early stage. With Lin Haoyang's current physical strength, there is definitely no problem in resisting this, but as long as fire dragonfly finds Lin Haoyang's trail, I'm afraid he will find it difficult to leave today. What? When Lin Haoyang hesitated, there was a sudden cry from afar. In a blink of an eye, I saw a flame hit by the fire toad, and after a cry of pain, he began to run away. This sudden change immediately attracted the eyes of the two guardian beasts and went straight to the flame. Lin Haoyang was also taken aback, where he seemed to have seen the flame incarnation. However, Lin Haoyang doesn't have so much time to think about this now. Since someone attracted firepower for him, now is the best time for him to escape. The flames fired by the fire dragonfly hit, Lin Haoyang just tried to avoid the most powerful part and resisted the attack. Puff! When the flame fell, Lin Haoyang's back was scorched black. With Lin Haoyang's physical strength, resisting such a resistance was also serious. However, Lin Haoyang did not say a word, urging spirit power, and fleeing to the surface of the magma as quickly as possible. As for the life and death of the flame incarnation owner, he was beyond his control. After Lin Haoyang escaped a kilometer distance, the violent power behind gradually dissipated. Needless to say, the flame clone had completely disappeared. Lin Haoyang swallowed secretly. This time it would be difficult for him to escape if it weren't for this flame clone. At the same time, the other party, Kai Xiao, who had just obtained half of the Earth's core, suddenly turned pale and vomited a mouthful of blood. The flame avatar was transformed by a ray of the power of his origin, the avatar was destroyed, and he was seriously injured. Damn it! I picked the peaches and picked it on my head, I hope you don't die too fast. Kai Xiao said angrily in his heart. Kai Xiao's change could not hide Jian Shu. Jian Shu took a look and said, Qi Xiao fellow Taoist, it's better not to play any tricks. Since it's all for the human race, there are some things that I don't want to expose. Listening to this, Kai Xiao's pupils shrank. It seemed that Jian Shu should know his purpose, or that Jian Shu knew that there was an earth marrow here, and not the 3 earth marrows they had harvested this time. Also, Jian Shu is a disciple of the sword holder. If you talk about understanding the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda, I am afraid that no one knows better than him. Zhangzhu fellow Taoist joked. He is weaker. He was hit by the guardian beast just now and his internal organs were a bit injured. Kai Xiao said with an ugly expression. Is it right? You know it. There is no need to explain it to me. As long as you don't spoil our major affairs, I won't bother you. But if you mess up and disrupt our plan, I will kill you personally, and your sect will have to pay for it. Jian Void said without expression. Kai Xiao gritted his teeth and said nothing, pretending not to know. Although Jian Shu could let him go, but if others knew, such as Dao Dao, Hu Ling, Yan and others, I am afraid he could not go out alive. The crystal tower is out. Kai Xiao's face suddenly turned pale, which also attracted the attention of Dao Dao, Yan and others, but they didn't know much about Jian Shu. Even if they thought Kai Xiao had done something behind his back, they had no evidence. This time, everyone repelled a guardian beast of nascent soul late stage, and got 3 groups of earth marrow, 3 groups of earth marrow, not less, but for everyone, it is still too few. At least, they rushed here so hard, basically nothing. Except for Kai Xiao, the human race got a little more than 1 group. How can this be divided? Only the person who obtained the core of the earth can pay for subsidies to other people, otherwise, the human race may have another internal fight for the treasure of the core of the earth. In order to avoid this situation, Jian Shu held the heart of this piece of land on human race's side. There was not much opinion on human race's side. After all, everyone still admired Jian Shu's strength. On the Sea Clan's side, after Yan obtained the Earth's core, he threw it directly to the mermaid girl. Although the Earth's core was good, he still couldn't let Yan move his heart. As the king of the Sea Clan, he still had this tolerance. After capturing the marrow of the earth, everyone began to return the same way. There were too few trophies and everyone was not happy. Here, Lin Haoyang dissolved a good fortune orb, and then recovered from his injury, and then rushed out of the magma sea with Sun Ning and Yang Bin. 71%. Chapter 425 Kai Xiao's killing intent. On the way, Lin Haoyang gave Sun Ning and Yang Bin the heart of the earth. No 2 of them risked their lives to attract the attention of the 2 guardian beasts. He had no chance to take the heart of the earth. The 2 didn't know how much earth core Lin had taken, but they were thankful that they could get a ball. If it weren't for Lin Haoyang, they would have followed Kai Xiao at the moment. Following Kai Xiao, they could get a few spirit stones at most. As for the core of the earth, there would be absolutely no points for them. Lin Haoyang and the 3 of them stepped out of the magma ocean, and the 3 of them appeared to be seriously injured and did not attract the attention of others. After all, during this period of time, there have been people who couldn't stand the high temperature in the depths of the magma sea and surfaced. However, Lin Haoyang looked seriously injured, causing Xuanyu and Nangong Luyun to lick their tongues. These 2 were not good at physical strength, and failed to follow Kai Xiao to the end. Even before the 3 of Lin Haoyang left, the 3 of them had already retreated to the world of magma. Being stared at by the 2, Lin Haoyang's eyes flashed murderously. The 2 men should be killed, but they can't do it now. Do it now, I'm afraid they will be rejected by everyone. After all, they now have a common enemy, the Sea Clan. After another stick of incense, the last person of the human race and the sea race emerged from the magma sea, but their expressions were not very good. The harvest of this trip was not as great as expected. There was a magma sea in Qishao, his eyes shot frantically, and finally stayed on Lin Haoyang. Before the lotus flower, his flame clone only felt the breath of Lin Haoyang. As for Sun Ning and Yang Bin, they were not known because they attracted the guardian beast. Boy, some things are not yours, don't take things that shouldn't be taken, otherwise, be careful to take the deadly flowers. Lin Haoyang's threat came from Kai Xiao. Lin Haoyang just smiled at the corner of his mouth. He was not afraid of Kai Xiao, at most it would cause some trouble for his future journey. Looking at Lin Haoyang's appearance, Kai Xiao felt more angry in his heart, completely despising him. At this moment, Nangong Luyun's voice came from Kai Xiao's ears. Qishao fellow Taoist, did Lin Haoyang put him together? Either we will join hands and put him in the next few floors. Kai Xiao frowned. Kai Xiao's sect was not the second one, and he didn't know much about the grievances between Lin Haoyang and Nangong Luyun. HMPH. I don't need to worry about my business. Kai Xiao snorted coldly, not planning to make alliance with Nangong Luyun. It is impossible for him to be in alliance with Nangong Luyun. Lin Haoyang is a disciple of Hidao sect. Nangong Luyun is not born in the 6th rank sect, so he will only join forces with Hidao disciples when the time comes to blame. Down, there is also Hidao to help with it. From Kai Xiao's point of view, to deal with Lin Haoyang, there is no need to join hands with others. First, Lin Haoyang's strength is only at the 6th level of Golden Core. Secondly, Lin Haoyang has other geocentrics in his hands, and this should not be known to too many people. Otherwise, Kai Xiao himself would be in trouble. Everyone is not stupid. If only a part of the heart of the earth appears, even if everyone is suspicious, it is just suspicion. They didn't dare to do anything at will, otherwise, they would be accused of disturbing the plans of the human race. This crime, whether it is Kai Xiao or other people, or Lin Haoyang, cannot afford it. Boom. There was a harsh sound from afar, and then a rush of white steam suddenly rushed to all directions. Lin Haoyang and others were no exception. Lin Haoyang's complexion sank. The temperature of the white steam is probably not lower than that of the purple magma. If it is blocked by the steam, Lin Haoyang and others will inevitably suffer damage. Moreover, the white steam is mixed with black particles, and those things are poisonous substances in the volcanic magma. Although the magma has been gestated before, the magma is relatively stable, and these toxic substances have not diffused. Now that the seawater collides with magma violently, all these things have escaped. Given the vastness of the magma, it is difficult for the Golden Core cultivator to survive in the magma. Withdraw. Go to the 5th floor. Jian Shu's eyes condensed, and he quickly ordered. When the human race retreated, the sea race naturally followed and rushed to the nearest passage. The steam was extremely fast, and Lin Haoyang and the others were chasing after him. Fortunately, Lin Haoyang and the others had a map of the 8th stage mysterious tower. Before the steam spread to this place, everyone found the way to the 5th floor. It takes 5 drops of blood essence to unlock restrictions. If it is normal, everyone will naturally have to shirk it. After all, everyone has already lost 1 drop of blood essence, and if 1 drop is lost, everyone will be seriously injured. But after the crisis, Jian Shu didn't give people a chance to think about it, and immediately ordered 5 people. These 5 people are unwilling to choose them, and then force a drop of blood essence. Their strength will also be damaged, and when they seize the 5th layer of opportunity, they are bound to fall into a disadvantage. Just when the 5 were about to resist, Jian Shu's sword vibrated behind him, and the sword sea formed behind him, and a threat of death surged into his heart. Either choose to die, or choose to hand over a drop of blood essence. When you reach the 5th floor, the 5 of you will follow me. Naturally, you will be safe, and the resources will naturally have your share. Jian Shu said with no expression on his face. Watching this scene, Yan and the Sea Clan seemed to be watching a play and didn't send a glance at them. They weren't human conflicts, it would be more beneficial for them to fight. The big deal is that they killed 5 people, condensed their blood essence, and opened the channel. Shocked by Janai behind Jianju, the 5 did not dare to talk nonsense anymore. Although they did not want to, they each forced a drop of blood essence and fell towards the passage. 5 drops of blood essence fell, and the passage restrictions shook for a while, then melted and the passage opened. The passage opened, everyone's eyes lit up, and then they urged spirit power to rush into the 5th floor. After more than 10 breaths, everyone reached the 5th floor. The environment on the 5th floor is even more peculiar. They have experienced the world of earth, wood, and fire before. This is the world of gold. As for the 1st floor, it is a transitional ordinary world. In other words, the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda is arranged according to the 5 elements of the golden wood, water, fire, earth, and the golden wood, fire, earth, and earth. When everyone came out, Yan backhanded and slapped the passageway just now. Without the restriction spirit pattern, this passage is completely abolished. Many people in the human race glared at Yan. If they weren't unable to fight, they would definitely have started now. HMPH. I advise you to destroy these passages quickly, or else the poison gas from below will surge up. I'm afraid someone will die here. Yan looked indifferent, as if he didn't care much about all of this. With that said, Yan took the demons and left, and began to search on this level. Jian Shu sighed and said. He was right. After this time, I am afraid that this secret realm will no longer be able to enter. In order to prevent the spread of poisonous fog, when encountering the passage, we will directly destroy it. After that, he turned around and took the 5 previous people who contributed to blood essence and left, and began to search. 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda. The higher the level, the more treasures there are, the better. On the 4th floor, the core of the earth was discovered, and on the 5th floor, everyone would naturally not give up. 71%. Chapter 426 Sword Peak. Jian Shu left, and everyone couldn't sit still, and immediately separated and began to look for their own opportunities. This time, Lin Haoyang didn't let Sun Ning and Yang Bin follow. He speculated that Kai Xiao would definitely come to trouble himself this time, and if the two of them were allowed to follow, the trouble might not be exposed. Rather than leaving a hidden danger, it is better to solve it earlier and be at ease. Lin Haoyang also has selfish intentions. He wants to see if he can meet Xuanyu and Nangong Luyun alone here. If he can meet him, he will take action without hesitation and solve the two. Before coming, when following Ji Lingxi cultivation, Lin Haoyang changed his escape technique Lingu. The name sounded strange, as if it had nothing to do with the escape technique. Lingu was an escape technique created by Ji Lingxi back then. In terms of naming, he really didn't dare to compliment it. Lin Haoyang urged his spirit to move suddenly. His figure immediately turned into a black afterimage, and he fled into the distance at an extremely fast speed, not slower than nascent soul early stage. Seeing this, Kai Xiao frowned. He didn't expect Lin Haoyang to have this method, but he was not afraid. Its speed is even faster than Lin Haoyang by 3 points. The two left. Although Sun Ning and Yang Bin were worried, they didn't dare to violate Lin Haoyang's wishes and could only choose to believe in Lin Haoyang. When Sun Ning and Yang Bin also left, Xuanyu and Nangong Luyun also appeared. Chasing or not? Zhan Yu asked, licking her tongue. Why chase? Isn't that guy very confident? Let the two of them fight you to death. If he can still live, we will be on the next floor and we will take his life. Nangong Luyun believed in himself. A trace of disdain appeared in Zhan Yu's eyes, and said, that idiot will die after chasing him, but it's a pity that I can't kill him by myself. After all, Zhan Yu Tiao turned around and flew to one place, and the speed surpassed Golden Core. Everyone who can come here has some abilities. Hope. Nangong Luyun ignored Xuanyu, glanced at the direction Lin Haoyang was leaving, and searched in another direction. The Golden Realm does not mean that all places are made of metal, but the metallic spirit power here is extremely rich, far exceeding the spirit power of other attributes. Moreover, the mineral deposits here are extremely rich, and you may find a metal deposit by digging casually. In terms of value, this Golden Realm is more valuable than the 3 realms before. After all, these metals, if they can be used, can be directly exchanged for a large number of spirit stones. However, it is impossible for the Terran to send a large number of people here to mine ore, and the price is too high. Xiaojin, are there any treasures on this floor? Lin Haoyang asked. Asked by this, Xiaojin climbed out of Lin Haoyang's dantian and landed on Lin Haoyang's shoulders. Before being on the magma seabed, the little golden dragon spent a lot of dragon vein power. At this moment, climbing on Lin Haoyang looked a little weak. The little golden dragon has recovered so far, he can absorb Lin Haoyang's original power to recover himself. Compared with the power of the dragon veins, Lin Haoyang's origin may be weaker than his level, but Lin Haoyang's origin is almost endless. As long as Lin Haoyang cultivates good fortune Zhou heavenly tribulation, there is no source of exhaustion. In this way, the little golden dragon can maintain its current state even without the power of the dragon veins. After investigating, Xiao Jinlong's eyes showed a different color. It's not clear from the investigation. The metallic spirit power here is too rich. It should be available in the southeast and between the 5 peaks. Xiao Jinlong said. Lin Haoyang's eyes condensed, and the first time he saw Xiao Jinlong, he couldn't detect it clearly. Even so, Lin Haoyang still wanted to try it. It's better to have a purpose than to go around. Behind Lin Haoyang, Kai Xiao followed closely, and he was not afraid of Lin Haoyang's discovery. The two had already torn their faces before, and there was no need to hide them. As long as no one saw him, even if he killed Lin Haoyang, who could say anything? Seeing Lin Haoyang set off again, Kai Xiao's flames rose, and he set off again to chase Lin Haoyang. A quarter of an hour later, Lin Haoyang saw 5 mountains standing side by side from a distance. The peaks were not too high, but very steep, like 5 swords stuck in the ground. When he came closer, Lin Haoyang was even more shocked. These 5 peaks are not made of rocks, but the entire mountain is made of metal. With Lin Haoyang's knowledge, he was shocked by this handwriting. It is no wonder that Xiao Jinlong said that the detection is not clear, and the 5 mountain peaks have formed a strange magnetic field, which can isolate the detection of divine sense. With the strength of Lin Haoyang's divine sense, if you don't get close to the mountain, you won't be able to find anomalies here. Kai Xiao followed Lin Haoyang, his eyes gradually showing a different color. With his eyesight, he could see that these 5 mountains are not simple at this moment. This kid, do you have a more detailed map? Kai Xiao suddenly thought of Lin Haoyang's Master Ji Link Si, and felt that it was still possible. After all, Master is a great ability in harmony. There is still a big gap in the news that he Dao Daneng and Hua Shen can reach. Just like in the third floor, the news of the core of the earth, Qi Xiao's sect, has also studied it for several generations before figuring it out. This is where the incident of the core of the earth came about. In the end, Lin Haoyang picked the peaches, so Kai Xiao was so angry. First, the marrow of the earth is really precious, and secondly, sect consumes too many resources on the marrow of the earth. In order to deal with the two guardian beasts, Kai Xiao even brought a tier 6 treasure, but everything was interrupted by Lin Haoyang, and he also lost a flame clone, which greatly damaged his origin. Looking at the 5 mountain peaks, Kai Xiao's eyes flashed brightly. Since you are hiding from my chance, then I will accept all this unceremoniously. After thinking about it, Kai Xiao followed into the valley. The map in Lin Haoyang's hands indeed marked a special point, but that point was not on this level, but in the 6th level of water. There is a treasure place that has been studied for many generations in the Jiling line. It can be marked by the Jiling line. The treasures in it can only be more valuable than the core of the earth. As for the 5 sword peaks, there is no record in the map Zhao Duanlong gave him, and it is entirely dependent on Xiao Jinlong's insight. As soon as he entered the 5 peaks, Lin Haoyang's divine sense plunged into the mud sea like a cow, and could only penetrate a distance of 100 meters. If you still want to continue, you will be obstructed by the magnetic field here, and you will either deviate from the direction, or your knowledge of the sea will be consumed. Anyway, it won't have much effect. Kai Xiao seemed to have sensed this too, and was shocked. It seemed that the degree of danger here was even higher than that of the 5th layer of magma sea. Lin Haoyang, hand over the core of the earth and the map here, and I can spare your life. Kai Xiao couldn't help it anymore. In this situation, he would very likely lose Lin Haoyang's trace, and he could only expose it in advance. He now feels more and more that Lin Haoyang deliberately led him here to get rid of his pursuit. In this regard, Lin Haoyang had expected that Kai Xiao had been hanging far behind him, and he had no choice but to always worry about his sneak attack. Come out, I thought you were going to bear it forever. Lin Haoyang smiled at the corner of his mouth, but didn't dare to look down at Kai Xiao at all. The 2 killing intent swords behind him quietly condensed, a colorful color flowed in his hand, and Zhenyu appeared in his hand. As for other magical items, Lin Haoyang didn't increase his burden because he couldn't keep up with the current battle. 71%. Chapter 427 Physical Immunity. HMPH. Let's use any other means together, otherwise, I'm afraid you won't have a chance. Faced with Lin Haoyang's all-out effort, Kai Xiao was not afraid. For Kai Xiao, Lin Haoyang never looked down upon him. During the trials before, Lin Haoyang knew that Kai Xiao was not easy. Among the 40 people, Kai Xiao is an existence that can definitely be shot in the top 15. Such a character is not easy to use, and Lin Haoyang naturally does not dare to despise it. Moreover, Kai Xiao had lost a flame clone before, and that clone was not weak. It should have incorporated some of his own origin and divine sense, otherwise it would be impossible to have that kind of strength. Kai Xiao wouldn't worry about using an ordinary clone to get the marrow of the earth, which would definitely cost a lot of money. Having lost such a clone, Kai Xiao dared to be so arrogant, and surely still had the means to save his life. Those who can be sent to the 8th stage Profound Crystal Pagoda are all Tianzhao among Tianzhao, and few are fools. Lin Haoyang didn't talk nonsense, his heart was as quiet as water, and he began to do his best. When the Buddha's profound art was moved, the black spirit power turned into a streamer, entwining Lin Haoyang, protecting the whole body, and at the same time concealing the trail of the 2 killing intent swords. As soon as the blood on the right arm was urged, a blood chi sword light naturally formed on Zhenyu. The metal ground cracked where the sword light passed. Seeing this, Kai Xiao's eyes condensed. IFK. What did he see? An ape? You formed a sword light for me, are you kidding me? Kai Xiao quickly recalled in his mind, in the history of the human race, had anyone practiced an ape into a sword light? After a while, Kai Xiao's face was numb. No, at least in the history of the human race he knew, no one could repair the ape from the sword light. Lin Haoyang might be the first person. In fact, Zhao Duanlong, Wu Yangji and others have been surprised by this a long time ago, otherwise they would not give Cao Ying the spiritual roots cultivator to Lin Haoyang as disciples. That's the heaven. Spiritual roots cultivator. If you hit the god of transformation, there is a 40% chance of it. As long as you have a little chance, you can achieve the status of God of Transformation. From this point, we can see how difficult it is for Lin Haoyang to repair the Epei sword light. Lin Haoyang didn't think it was too difficult. He wanted to use the sword light that day, and found that spirit power could not form a sword light on Junyu's huge sword. For a moment, Lin Haoyang used blood qi instead of spirit power, and the huge blood qi attached to Junyu. After another move, it formed the sword glow of the Epei. Regarding Janmeng, no one has ever tried to replace Janmeng with blood qi. Lin Haoyang can be said to be the first person. Lin Juwu and others are so slow in cultivation because blood qi is not full enough to urge the use of blood qi to replace spirit power into sword light. As soon as the blood qi sword light appeared, Kai Xiao didn't dare to be careless. The existence of this kind of self-made cultivation technique is often carried out by the atmosphere. If one of them fails, it is very likely that one of them will be overturned in the gutter. Kai Xiao's face was dignified, and he started to go all out. His hands lit a flame, and then, the flame spread, Kai Xiao's arms, and even the whole person, turned into a burning man. Yes, the fire man. In Lin Haoyang's eyes, Kai Xiao completely turned into a fire. In addition to this, Lin Haoyang was also shocked. The news from Zhao Duanlong was Kai Xiao's ultimate means materialization. He didn't understand the meaning before, but now Lin Haoyang finally understood the deep meaning. This materialization meant turning into a flame. Kai Xiao turned into flames, and the surrounding temperature sharply ascending, even the metal under his feet began to melt. Lin Haoyang had a headache before he played against him. He was the most annoyed with such fancy things. Feeling irritable, Zhen Yu cut in his hand, and when he reached the black sword light, it only pierced the sea of flames turned by Kai Xiao. Faced with Lin Haoyang's cut, Kai Xiao did not move or dodge. As the sword light passed, the flame split and cut through the sea of fire, which was still easy for Lin Haoyang. Bump! The sword light penetrated the sea of fire and slashed to the ground, leaving a gap of 100 meters in the ground. With such power, the General Golden Core late stage can't handle it. But Lin Haoyang was not at all happy. The sea of flames that Kai Xiao turned into, except for the initial agitation, had no effect at all. It was the first time that Lin Haoyang saw this strange technique. It is no wonder that Zhao Duanlong's information also gave Kai Xiao the word, difficult. The sword light's power dissipated, and a flame face appeared on the flame. Upon closer inspection, it was exactly what Kai Xiao looked like. Why, just this ability? If it's just like this, you still can't kill me, Kai Xiao said arrogantly. Lin Haoyang's face turned dark and did not speak, and a trace of the black spirit power of the Buddha profound art was once again wrapped around Junyu's killing intent, making it a little weird. The two colors of black and red circulated, and the biting aura dispersed in all directions. Lin Haoyang did not make any further temptations, and directly displayed Tianfang. Junyu directly turned into an afterimage, black and red entangled, and a sharp sword qi slashed towards the sea of flames that Kai Xiao had turned into. In the face of Tianfang, Kai Xiao couldn't laugh. In this strike, he actually felt the meaning of Longtu's line of heaven, earth and people with 3 swords. The sharpness was exactly the same. Where the black and red Zhanfang passed, the sea of fire was directly divided into 2. Yes, it was not the previous separation, but the one that was cut in half and couldn't be closed again. You have 2 abilities. If I didn't turn into a flame, I might have died in your hands. They still believe that you are on the 6th floor of Golden Core and want to grab your spot. I don't know where it came from. Fool. But I'm sorry, I am physically hurt. Immunity. Quote. Kai Xiao shouted wildly, and the sea of fire that had been divided into 2 halves began to squirm, and there was the only tendency to merge again. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang's expression was ugly, and he was immune to physical damage, which was really difficult. But soon, Lin Haoyang discovered that On Tianfang was not completely useless to Kai Xiao. Therefore, if Lin Haoyang wants to kill Kai Xiao, he must do it within 3 breaths. Once the 3 breaths passed, Kai Xiao was no longer passively beaten, and the sea of fire rolled straight to Lin Haoyang to kill. In the sea of flames, a giant sword quickly took shape. The giant sword was extremely large, no less than 10 meters in size, with such a size and a weight of approximately 100,000 catties. What surprised Lin Haoyang even more was that this giant sword was not Kai Xiao's original magical item, but he smelted the metal on the ground on the spot. Although the quality may not be up to the point, it's important. Lin Haoyang is a little bit confused. Who is the body cultivator? When the sea of fire struck, the flame pattern on Lin Haoyang's skin automatically appeared, and a little ordinary flame could cause no harm to him. As for the damage caused by the fire dragonfly, it was repaired by Lin Haoyang with a good fortune orb. At this moment, Lin Haoyang is Lin Haoyang with full combat power. Junyu moved and attracted a huge sword. Although the huge sword was large, it did not cause serious damage to Lin Haoyang. Even after colliding with Junyu, the sword end of the giant sword was directly cut off and fell to the ground. The huge sword of 100,000 caddies may be a serious threat against other golden core cultivators, but in Lin Haoyang's eyes, it is not enough. After all, Lin Haoyang nowadays has reached 90,000 caddies in physical strength alone. Coupled with Zhen Yu's weight, it is a terrifying power of more than 100,000 caddies. Kai Xiao playing power in front of him is like playing a big sword in front of Guan Gong. 72%. Chapter 428. The giant sword was broken, and Kai Xiao, who turned into a sea of flames, frowned, and he couldn't help but be surprised. The giant sword he condensed, but he tried his best to smelt a 100,000 caddies giant sword. Even if it can't reach the level, is it really weak? Not weak. It can be said to be very strong. Kai Xiao in the state of the Sea of Fire, he dared to challenge Jian Shu. Although the final result may be that the Sea of Fire was wiped out by the Sea of Swords, he was not afraid, and he would not die before the Sea of Fire was destroyed. The giant sword was broken, and the red sky was not chaotic. There were countless metals under him. When the Sea of Fire moved, the metal ground under him melted and turned into liquid to flow towards the giant sword. In just an instant, the giant sword returned to its original state. When Lin Haoyang saw this, he was also slightly taken aback. This guy is also difficult to deal with. These infinite arrogances of the human race are really hard to deal with. Wanting to kill a Kai Xiao was so troublesome. Later, when he met Zhan Yu and Nangong Luyun, he had to be more careful. Those two guys didn't follow this time. It is likely that he and Kai Xiao were injured. Wow. Zhen Yu moved again. Still Tian Feng, cut open the Sea of Fire again. This time, even the giant sword that had just been condensed was also cut open. It's useless. You can't kill like this. Before Kai Xiao had finished speaking, Lin Haoyang slashed down again with a single sword. The Sea of Flames was divided into 4 parts. No matter how hard to maintain the 100,000 Jin giant sword, it broke into 2 knots and fell to the ground. It's useless. Ha ha ha. Damn. Lin Haoyang didn't care. No matter what Kai Xiao said, he kept urging Tianfeng, turning into a horrible sword light, and violently suppressing the Sea of Fire that Kai Xiao had turned into. In a short period of time, Lin Haoyang urged Tianfeng to cut down more than a dozen swords, and completely cut the Sea of Flames that Kai Xiao had turned into hundreds. Kai Xiao flamed. Although it was immune to physical damage, it was divided into hundreds of parts, which still caused him a lot of trauma to divine sense. Its degree is not even worse than the loss of a clone last time. Boom. Lin Haoyang slashed again. After the stab, the Sea of Flames in Qishao was even more shattered. The original flat ground was already riddled with holes at the moment, and a huge pit was formed in the same place. Lin Haoyang forcibly cut the place down by 10 meters. Crack. A soft sound suddenly came from Kai Xiao's sea of consciousness, as if something was broken. Hearing this crisp sound, Kai Xiao's face twitched, and his divine sense defense magical item shattered. Yes, Kai Xiao is immune to physical damage, and the weak point is naturally divine soul. The flame clone was slashed before. It was this magical item that resisted 80 to 90% of the backlash power, so his damage was not significant. Originally, he thought that this defensive magical item could last a while, but he didn't think that Lin Haoyang, a lunatic, was so terrifying. He cut him into hundreds of pieces. Who is so boring? It's not that Kai Xiao has never fought. The average golden core 9th level genius can hardly cut his incarnation of the Sea of Fire. Well, he is physically immune. But now, Lin Haoyang exhausted 80% of his vitality, cut him into hundreds of pieces, and severely injured Divine Sense again, causing his Tier 5 middle-grade Divine Sense defense magical item to completely collapse. Divine Sense defense magical item was broken. Kai Xiao was still a little embarrassed. This was his capital for the waves. It's not that he doesn't want to use the more powerful Divine Sense to defend magical item, it's just that if he doesn't break through the nascent soul, his Divine Sense has always been the peak level of Golden Core. At this level, you can use the Divine Sense defense magical item of Tier 5 mid-range at most. Although the effect of using Tier 5 top level is better, it is very likely to use it once, and it will take time to learn about the sea. He can use the Divine Sense defense magical item of Tier 5 middle grade, and the elders in the family have also given some support. When it came to realms like Lin Haoyang, it was difficult for the subtle changes to escape their perception. Kai Xiao heard the cracking sound in his mind, and then he looked ecstatic. He had guessed before that Kai Xiao must have the divine sense defense treasure, otherwise the avatar will not be destroyed, otherwise it will not be so easy. Lin Haoyang had never used soul concentration before, just to guard against Kai Xiao. At this moment, he made a mistake and broke Kai Xiao's divine sense defense magical item. Then how do you still play with me? With one shot of the storage bag, a top-grade spirit stones appeared in Lin Haoyang's hands. With a strong grip, it was directly squeezed and turned into a violent spirit power storm. The Buddha's profound secret art ran wildly and quickly restored his own spirit power. Although this would waste a lot of spirit power, Lin Haoyang could no longer take care of that much. Just now, Kai Xiao, who was chopped into hundreds of pieces, finally breathed a sigh of relief. Lin Haoyang didn't do anything anymore. Some areas he was chopped off earlier had already begun to heal. But now, he felt a chill, and a death crisis quickly lingered in his mind. At this moment, he felt that Lin Haoyang had any means to behead him. The spirit power of the top-grade spirit stones is extremely rich, and coupled with the full operation of the Buddha profound art, Lin Haoyang's recovery speed is astonishing. Kai Xiao had just healed some areas, and Lin Haoyang was cut down by another skyfront, splitting him again. Kai Xiao is going crazy. Shit, are you recovering so quickly? Sure enough, Ji Ling's line is a bunch of lunatics, all perverts. Why did he come to provoke Lin Haoyang? The most important thing is that, even though he is physically immune in the state of the Sea of Fire, he cannot open the storage bag and cannot take out his own magical item. Originally, he thought it would be most beneficial to deal with Lin Haoyang with himself under the state of physical immunity from the Sea of Fire, but now it seems that he is still too young. If it were not for him to make a cocoon and take out his own magical item, he might not be afraid of Lin Haoyang. There are still a few Tier 5 magical charms in his storage bag. One sword slashed open the Sea of Fire again. Lin Haoyang smiled. He had discovered that he couldn't open the storage bag in this state of Kai Xiao, and he did not hesitate to waste the top-grade spirit stones for this. Lin, fellow Taoist. Before Kai Xiao could speak, Lin Haoyang slashed down again with a single sword. Kai Xiao finally recovered, and cracked again. By this time, Kai Xiao was going crazy. Suddenly, a black silk flew out from the center of Lin Haoyang's eyebrows, and fell on a larger flame in an instant. What? Kai Xiao let out a scream and was hit by soul confusion, and divine sense was immediately injured. The tingling from divine sense shocked Kai Xiao to the extreme. A body cultivator is also proficient in the divine sense attack technique. How does this sea play? The sea of flames rolled, and the remaining fragmented small pieces of flame swam, trying to cover the hit flames. However, two gray long swords suddenly broke through the air, and Kai Xiao didn't notice how Lin Haoyang made these two magical items. In an instant, the two killing intent swords slashed on the flame hit by the soul fixing technique, the strong killing intent, the biting sword chi merged with the cold killing intent, and in just an instant, the flame was completely defeated. What? Kai Xiao cried bitterly. That flame, but a part of his body, and even his sea of consciousness, was defeated at this moment. In other words, part of his physical body and the sea of consciousness were defeated. Shihai was defeated, and it was definitely regarded as a serious injury. The most important thing was that the flame that Lin Haoyang started with was 1/20th of his body, and he suffered a lot. Seeing that the effect was not weak, Lin Haoyang found the opportunity to use his murderous swords to extinguish several small flames. As soon as Kai Xiao wanted to recover, Longhu used Tianfang to chop him to pieces again, preventing him from recovering. After chopped up, he combined with soul fixing and killing intent swords to extinguish his flames. The sea of fire that Kai Xiao transformed, although it could block a physical attack, the killing intent was invisible and could even blend into his body, so could it be considered a physical attack? After half an hour, the killing intent double swords extinguished the last flame. At this point, Kai Xiao completely fell. 72%. Chapter 429. The fall of Qishao, far to the south of the hinterland of the human race, is the place where the sect of Qishao Skyfire sect is located. The place where the life cards of the Skyfire sect's total peak are stored. This is the place where all the life cards of the core disciple of the Skyfire sect are stored. At this moment, the life card representing Kai Xiao suddenly shattered and fell to the ground. The fate card shattered, alarming Nascent Soul who was guarding this place. Nascent Soul was originally meditating, and the shattering of life cards often happened. There is no smooth sailing for cultivation. But when he saw the name engraved on the life card, he felt a chill in his heart. Knowing that the major event was not good, he immediately took out a sound transmission token and said, "Palm, head teacher, Kai Xiao's life card is broken." As soon as these words came out, the land of the head teacher closed door training of the Skyfire sect suddenly set off a sea of fire, and countless buildings around it collapsed. At this moment, all the people of the Skyfire sect looked shocked. It was the first time that their head teacher made such a big fire. Although they didn't know what happened, everyone was afraid to show up. At this moment, he would be slapped to death by head teacher. At this moment, the nascent soul cultivator who watched the life card was really scared to the extreme. Kai Xiao is dead, the Sky Fire sect has really suffered a great loss. In order to cultivate Kai Xiao, the Sky Fire sect has spent a lot of money, and it has planned several generations for the fifth layer of the Earth's marrow. Now when Kai Xiao is dead, everything is gone. You said that head teacher was not angry. If you knew that Kai Xiao was so useless, head teacher might have slapped him to death with a palm. Lin Haoyang didn't know what happened to the Tianwo sect. Kai Xiao was cut, all the flames were extinguished, and there was no trace of flesh and blood left in Kai Xiao, all turned into ashes. Lin Haoyang was very curious about Kai Xiao's cultivation technique, but Kai Xiao used the wrong place. This kind of cultivation technique was used for combat, which was obviously used to escape. If Lin Haoyang had this kind of cultivation technique, it would be almost impossible to kill him with the same rank. Divine Sense is powerful, physically powerful, and resilient. With a physical immunity, he can play and cry. The flames transformed by Kai Xiao disappeared, and a storage bag fell on the spot. The rank was not low, reaching the middle rank of rank 5. Lin Haoyang saw that there were 4 storage bags on his body. Although there were many, only one had reached the 5th rank. This, when Ji Lingxi gave him resources, he gave him easily. The highest he obtained by himself was only a tier 4 top grade. The storage bag of tier 4 top grade is still a bit small for Lin Haoyang today. Generally, he can live a lot of demonic beasts' corpses when he goes out. After demonic beasts had more corpses, he could quickly fill up his storage bag, but the storage bag was not cheap, and he was reluctant to exchange it for the expensive one. As for his own refining, Lin Haoyang has no space for spirit stones, and it is also difficult for a clever woman to cook without rice. Lin Haoyang's situation has only improved since he received the colorful 1000 cloud cover. Kai Xiao left a lot of bands on his storage bag, and Lin Haoyang didn't have that much time for the time being. Lin Haoyang casually threw Kai Xiao's storage bag into his own Dantian space. Of course, storage bags are space equipment and cannot be easily stored in another space. Once the space overlaps and the storage bag explodes, it is very likely that Dantian will burst and die. However, Lin Haoyang's Dantian moved, and the little golden dragon climbed onto the storage bag. With the little Jinlong watching, he naturally didn't have to worry about the storage bag exploding. More than an hour has passed since he was separated from the crowd, and Lin Haoyang has not much time left, otherwise he will be thrown away too much by the crowd, and the 6th floor of the treasure land will be taken by others, then he will suffer a big loss. In the battle with Kai Xiao, 3 top-grade spirit stones were consumed, plus the one used to kill the bronze crab. Lin Haoyang now has 6. Of course, there must be stock in Kai Xiao's storage bag. The matter of Kai Xiao finally ended. Lin Haoyang's divine sense spread out and began to explore the surroundings. At the same time, Lin Haoyang's spirit power surged throughout his body, and his perception of other spirit powers gradually dissipated, and golden spirit power gradually became dominant. Over the years, although Lin Haoyang is dominated by golden spiritual roots, it has always been dominated by fire spiritual roots. This time, golden spiritual roots finally turned over. Spiritual roots are very mysterious and may be hidden everywhere in the human body. Lin Haoyang has the physique of 3 spiritual roots, and his qualifications are not good. Generally, the cultivator with 3 spiritual roots qualifications has nascent soul at the end, and the chance of crossing the gods is extremely slim. But Lin Haoyang is different. He cultivated the floating 2 Zan Zhenju, which is equivalent to directly ascension Lin Haoyang's qualifications to dual spiritual roots qualifications. Otherwise, even if there is the true art of the Buddha, with Lin Haoyang's qualifications, the cultivation speed would never be so fast. Generally, a cultivator with 3 spiritual roots qualifications, at Lin Haoyang's age, is still struggling in the foundation building, but Lin Haoyang has already begun to prepare for nascent soul. Running the cultivation technique, Lin Haoyang showed his own spiritual roots for the first time. Dantian appeared a red silk thread, and a brown silk thread appeared on his legs. Behind Lin Haoyang, a thick golden thread that spreads almost the entire spine emerged. This spiritual vein emerged. Lin Haoyang's spine was like a dragon vein. When it moved, it was accompanied by a clicking sound, which was very scary. It seems that over the years I have somewhat overlooked the metallic spiritual roots, maybe. It is my destiny spiritual roots. Lin Haoyang was a little surprised. Already he really despised him a little, thinking that his 3 spiritual roots qualifications, as long as he has the resources, he majored in that spiritual vein is the same. Golden spiritual roots emerged. Lin Haoyang's perception of metallicity was ascension, and the valley suddenly changed in Lin Haoyang's eyes. In Lin Haoyang's eyes, the surrounding scenery disappeared, only countless subtle metallic spirit power, covering the entire valley. Those metallic spirit powers do not exist independently, floating in the entire valley, they seem to be flowing, converging towards the center of the valley. Without hesitation, Lin Haoyang headed straight to the center of the valley, riding on the fact that his strange state had not disappeared. After a stick of incense, a huge stone appeared in Lin Haoyang's eyes. The stone was about 2 meters high, 3 meters long and wide, and it was huge. Looking at this huge rock, Lin Haoyang's eyes were taken aback, and then his expression was a bit demented. This stone is a bit strange. He is not metal. In his perception, the metallic spirit power in the air has all gathered into this huge stone. After thousands of years, tens of thousands of years of scouring and purification, this stone is no longer a stone. Now it is a metallic spirit stones, which is not an exaggeration. Lin Haoyang had golden light in his eyes. The concentration of spirit power contained in this boulder has surpassed ordinary spirit power and is already very close to medium-grade spirit power. How much is such a huge medium-grade spirit power worth? Its value is probably no less than 1,000,000 spirit stones. Just when Lin Haoyang was excited, Xiao Jinlong suddenly ran out of Lin Haoyang's dantian. FK, you are really out of shit luck. Chen Shijin, the marrow of the earth, now there is a golden spirit, you still let others live. Xiao Jinlong said angrily. Lin Haoyang frowned. Xiao Jinlong's fussing attitude was already familiar to him, but it was the first time he heard of Jin Ling. Tell me, what is this Jin Ling? Asked curiously on Monday. 72%. Chapter 430. Lin Haoyang really didn't know anything about Jin Ling, and he didn't know much about these strange things. Don't say that Lin Haoyang doesn't know, even some nascent soul and Washan have limited understanding of this. Because the world where Lin Haoyang and others are located is not high, it is difficult to breed such a spiritual thing. Jin Ling has no ranks. It will grow stronger as the host becomes stronger. This is the most critical point. The existence of this golden spirit has little to do with the world where Lin Haoyang and others are now. It should have been conceived by the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda itself. Afterwards, Xiao Jinlong explained the use of Jin Ling. After listening to it, Lin Haoyang's expression changed wildly. It was really amazing that Jin Ling's role was. To sum up, Jin Ling can grow the golden spiritual roots, and this alone can make countless people jealous. Some cultivators dominated by metallic spiritual roots, if golden spirit is incorporated into their own spiritual roots, it is likely to help them break through the current bottleneck. Of course, the role of Jinling is very big, and it doesn't stop there. Lin Haoyang was helpless. The value of this golden spirit for the golden spiritual roots cultivator even surpassed the core of the earth. Why is the golden spirit swayed here? No one or the Sea clan took it away. Lin Haoyang didn't believe it. Those geniuses in the past were not as good as him. People can even find the core of the earth hidden in the magma sea. There is no reason why Jin Ling would not find it. Is there any other trap in this? Lin Haoyang suddenly became careful, and quickly moved away from the huge stone. He didn't know the preciousness of the golden spirit before, but he didn't feel it. Knowing the preciousness of Jinling at this moment, I feel more and more that this place is a bit weird. Since he came in, he hasn't observed this place carefully, and now he feels it carefully, and the hairs are all over the place suddenly. Suddenly, his perception of golden spirit power was overwhelming. Following the perception vortex of golden spirit power, he unknowingly walked to the front of the boulder. But at this moment, that super sensing news, under the dual pressure of the golden spirit power and the magnetic field, Lin Haoyang's divine sense can only detect the distance within 50 meters. The valley is so huge that it can only perceive a distance of 50 meters in a radius. Finding the location of the boulder is simply looking for a needle in a haystack. Lin Haoyang was helpless. With his golden core divine sense, he could only detect 50 meters. On divine sense, as long as you don't have in defying to make divine sense break through nascent soul, Lin Haoyang is no worse than anyone else. He didn't know how many spirit essence crystals had been refined. Such a quantity, it would be difficult for Hidao to get it out. Not to mention allowing a golden core to refine such a large number of treasures, these things are enough to cultivate a nascent soul late stage. Only Lin Haoyang, who monopolized the Red Realm and seized a large number of soul crystals, dared to squander like this. In other words, the detection range of other people is likely to be less than 50 meters. Taking out the map, Lin Haoyang compared it on the map. Although the area he was in was recorded, the relevant information was pitiful. No way, as long as the divine sense does not break through the nascent soul, golden core, after entering this place, even if heaven defying finds the golden soul by chance, it is another matter to recognize it or not. If you want to go out, it is almost impossible. If you want to come in, you have to be prepared to be trapped and die here. The area where Blade Sword Peak is located is only on the 5th floor. In the face of great danger, the geniuses of the human race and the sea race did not choose to take risks because it was unnecessary. Before Kai Xiao decided to attack and kill Lin Haoyang outside the valley, he considered this point. It was really bad for him to go deep into the valley. After figuring out the reason why no one came here, Lin Haoyang was very helpless. If this were the case, how could he get out? When he goes out, the 5th floor is already covered by seawater and poisonous gas, and everyone has withdrawn to the 6th or even 7th floor. At this moment, Lin Haoyang no longer calmed down, and asked Xiao Jinlong. Hey, can you feel the road outside? We won't be really trapped here. My divine sense is also greatly restricted. I couldn't get in before, and now I can't get out. Xiao Jinlong said. Upon hearing this, Lin Haoyang's eyes suddenly stared. Really can't get out. His fame is going to be trapped here to die. Seeing Lin Haoyang's face full of despair, Xiao Jinlong was a little funny. There are really few chances to see this kid look desperate. Little Jinlong snickered, but he couldn't hide it from Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang grabbed Xiao Jinlong and asked, "Are you hiding something from me?" As he said, he scratched Xiao Jinlong's body. Ha! Ha ha! Don't scratch, I said. I said. After scratching twice, Lin Haoyang stopped, really thinking that I could not deal with you. As long as you merge with the golden spirit, the weakening of you by the magnetic field and the golden spirit power here will drop to the extreme. If you want to go out, isn't it easy? Xiao Jinlong said. Lin Haoyang was taken aback. It was that simple. How to listen to it, how to fake it. After that, Lin Haoyang confirmed to Jinlong several times, and Lin Haoyang believed that it might be. It's that simple. The most difficult thing is probably to integrate the golden spirit into the spiritual vein. When he came to the boulder again, Lin Haoyang placed his hand on the boulder, and he could feel an extremely rich and pure metallic spirit power. Little guy, you've been inside for so long, how about going out with me? Lin Haoyang said, and the golden spiritual roots behind him lighted up extremely quickly, showing him his own golden spiritual roots. Jin Ling is naturally spiritual. If Jin Ling is unwilling to follow Lin Haoyang cannot force it into his body. Just after Lin Haoyang finished speaking, a shocking force spread from the boulder and shook Lin Haoyang's hand away. Lin Haoyang's face turned dark. Damn it. He was rejected by Jin Ling. Lin Haoyang's cultivation base was running, and a violent force suddenly erupted, hitting the boulder with a punch. A punch, but it has a huge force of nearly 90,000 Jin, but when it hits the boulder, there is only a shallow crack. Crack. After being punched, the boulder became honest and no longer bounced back to Lin Haoyang, but it was absolutely impossible for him to accept Lin Haoyang. A 3 spiritual roots cultivator, or a cultivator majoring in fire spiritual roots, what qualifications does it have to integrate? Humph. Lin Haoyang let out a cold snort, and hit the boulder with punch after punch. There were more and more cracks in the boulder, as if it was about to split. After a stick of incense, the boulder trembled and was completely broken by Lin Haoyang's hammer and split into 2 halves. The boulder shattered, and a fist-sized golden object appeared in front of Lin Haoyang. As soon as it appeared, the golden ball wanted to escape as quickly as possible. Lin Haoyang's eyes condensed, and he still wants to run. It's impossible. If you let you run today, I won't believe Lin. Once wrapped in the black spirit power, it turned into a long rope to trap the golden ball, preventing him from stealing it. Lin Haoyang's figure flashed, came over the golden ball, and grabbed the golden ball into his hand. The golden ball was struggling, and Lin Haoyang's 5 fingers buckled it tightly, making it impossible to escape. Even if Lin Haoyang was restrained, the golden ball would not surrender and wanted to escape. Helpless, Lin Haoyang smashed the boulder to pieces, and squeezed Jin Ling in his hands. What else? Really crush Jin Ling. Isn't this really worth the loss? Jin Ling still wanted to struggle, and the black spirit power that bound Jin Ling suddenly trembled, and a pagoda suddenly appeared above Jin Ling. The pagoda trembled, a strange force suddenly appeared, Jin Ling immediately became honest, and Jin Ling himself was trembling violently. The trembling was fear. It was fear. 72%. Chapter 431. Lin Haoyang was also a little surprised. The Buddha Pagoda would actually take the initiative. It seemed that he was underestimated, and the ghost of the Buddha Pagoda was very angry. The Buddha Pagoda chose Lin Haoyang, and your little golden spirit dared to resist. Isn't it not giving him a face? This is not to say that it does not know people. The phantom of the Buddha Tower was very angry, so he ran out and frightened Jin Ling. The origin of the Buddha Pagoda is scary, and Lin Haoyang only knows that it is related to a certain power in the fairy world, but Lin Haoyang doesn't know how strong it is. At this moment, the Buddha Pagoda trembled slightly, and Jin Ling was frightened. The power of the Buddha Pagoda once again exceeded Lin Haoyang's imagination. The appearance of the Buddha Pagoda not only changed the golden spirit, but even the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda where Lin Haoyang was in, was slightly shaken at this moment. Lin Haoyang was shocked. He had forgotten that the most annoying thing about the Buddha Pagoda was the tower-shaped magical item. Once he was fortunate enough to get a Tier 4 tower defense magical item, but before he got it, the ghost of the Buddha shattered the opponent. You know, Lin Haoyang is just a projection of the Buddha Tower carried in the cultivation technique. It is not a physical entity. It has such strength. It is obvious that its body is so powerful that it is scary. Even the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda was provoked. Lin Haoyang was a little frightened, and hurriedly dispersed to the phantom of the Buddha Pagoda. After all, the Buddha Pagoda is just a projection. No matter how strong it is, it can't do the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda. After all, this is the place of others. As soon as the Buddha Pagoda dissipated, on the 8th stage of the 8th stage mysterious crystal pagoda, a boy opened his eyes, with a look of shock in his eyes. The boy is the spiritual form of the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda, and he perceives it as soon as the phantom of the Buddha Pagoda appears. Also is a tower-type magical item, he has some connections with the Buddha Tower. The master he went to was created by referring to the Buddha Tower. To some extent, it is no problem to regard the Buddha Pagoda as the ancestor of the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda. The one who hasn't been destroyed yet, and the person it chose came here, I still have a chance. The boy murmured. Behind the boy, there are 2 artifacts floating, one is a black pond, and the other is a seal. The 2 treasures slowly revolved around the boy. At this moment, seeing the boy excited, the aura on them was also agitated, but they did not dare to overdo it for fear of disturbing the boy's thinking. If Ji Lingxi sees this scene, he will be extremely excited. Those 2 treasures are exactly what they dream of, a mortal magical item. Lin Haoyang didn't know anything about the 8th floor, but that Jin Ling became much more honest after being frightened by the Buddha Tower. Lying quietly in Lin Haoyang's hands, he stopped struggling, as if he had agreed with Lin Haoyang. In fact, it doesn't work if you don't agree. If you don't lower your head, the phantom of the Buddha Pagoda will pop out and shake it again, and it will be completely finished. I still don't want to die, just feel wronged. The 3 spiritual roots are not too bad, since the Buddha Pagoda chose him. Or just follow the big guys. Thinking of this, Jin Ling stopped resisting, and even began to actively integrate into Lin Haoyang's body. Lin Haoyang held the golden spirit in his hand, with golden spirit power, began to follow Lin Haoyang's arm, and began to rush towards Lin Haoyang's back. Quick! This golden spirit has recognized you and wants to be one with you. Run the Buddha profound art, mobilize the golden spiritual roots, and pull him into your back spirit veins. Little Jinlong hurriedly said. Lin Haoyang also saw the meaning of Jin Ling, and no longer hesitated. The Buddha's profound art was operating, and he began to absorb the golden spirit power transformed by the Jin Ling. At the same time, on Lin Haoyang's back, the golden spiritual roots appeared again, and he began to frantically absorb these golden spirit power. Lin Haoyang's spine was like a horned dragon. Golden spiritual roots got rid of the spine and swam along Lin Haoyang's arm to the palm of his hand. When Jin spiritual roots saw Jin Ling, he was overjoyed. Jin spiritual roots swallowed Jin Ling like a big snake. Jin Ling was a little reluctant at first, but when he thought of the Buddha pagoda, he calmed down and asked Jin's spiritual roots to swallow him. Lin Haoyang watched from the side, already dumbfounded. Can spiritual roots still play like this? He has never heard of it. Before he could react, the golden spiritual roots had swallowed the golden spirit and quickly returned to the spine. After swallowing the golden spiritual roots became a little thicker. At this moment, Lin Haoyang felt that the golden spiritual roots suppressed the fire spiritual roots and became the leader of the three spiritual roots. Moreover, the suppression was very rapid. In a short period of time, the fire spiritual roots had been suppressed. As for the soil spiritual roots, they continued to tuck into Lin Haoyang's legs. Whether it was the fire spiritual roots or the golden spiritual roots, it couldn't afford it. As the golden spiritual roots become stronger and stronger, the fire spiritual roots is completely left behind, and it is impossible to turn over. In addition to this, Lin Haoyang's cultivation base is also growing wildly. It was originally the cultivation base of the 6th-tier middle stage of Golden Core. It is growing crazily at this moment and will soon enter the late stage. At this moment, the golden spiritual roots behind Lin Haoyang sent a sense of extremely eagerness. It needs spirit power, a huge spirit power. Feeling this thought, Lin Haoyang was taken aback for a moment, then a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth, and said, "There is no shortage of everything here, but there is no shortage of spirit power." Say it. Lin Haoyang used the Buddha's profound art with all his strength, and a spirit power whirlpool suddenly appeared on Lin Haoyang's head. Lin Haoyang replaced the boulder and directly became the spirit power gathering center of the entire valley, taking him as a golden spirit to support. With the injection of more spirit power, Lin Haoyang's strength quickly stepped into the late stage of the Golden Core 6th floor, and then went straight to the Golden Core 6th floor to complete. Not enough. Still not enough. At this time, Lin Haoyang felt the idea of golden spiritual roots again. Feeling this, Lin Haoyang secretly started to talk. This thing is really a bottomless pit. If not here, he would really be drained. However, here, I will satisfy you as much as you need today. Lin Haoyang's thoughts moved, and a huge boulder fragment fell into Lin Haoyang's hands. The purity of this boulder spirit power is equivalent to that of medium-grade spirit stones, and exploding one piece at this moment is equivalent to exploding a piece of metallic top-grade spirit stones. A piece of top-grade spirit stones still has a lot of spirit power. As soon as it appears, it is immediately involved in the spirit power vortex, flowing into the metallic spirit veins behind it. In the past, if Lin Haoyang wanted to grow the cultivation base, he still needed to filter through the Buddha's profound Ju, which would be retained in his body. But this time, it was directly absorbed and converted into strength. This is also the reason why Lin Haoyang's strength ascension was so fast. Soon, the spirit power provided by that piece of gravel dissipated, and the golden spiritual roots behind it were still not satisfied. Lin Haoyang doesn't care. Let you suck enough today, grab it at will, and start with a piece of gravel again. This process lasted for 2 hours in the end to completely satisfy the desire of the golden spiritual roots behind it. In 2 hours, Lin Haoyang finally finished refining. No, it should be said that golden spiritual roots completely integrated Jin Ling into it. Behind Lin Haoyang, a 2-finger-thick golden spiritual roots gradually disappeared. 1/3 of the boulder fragments that had shattered the ground had disappeared at this moment. Breathing out a suffocating breath, Lin Haoyang opened his eyes, and a flash of spirit flashed. After 2 hours, after absorbing a large amount of metallic spirit power, Lin Haoyang reached his strength and had already reached the late stage of the 8th floor of Golden Core. 72%. Chapter 432. This time, Lin Haoyang's ascension was too strong, and his cultivation base even advanced 2 levels. Relying on the Buddha's profound art, the concentration of spirit power in Lin Haoyang's body at this moment is no worse than anyone's confidence. Moreover, his spirit power may be more refined. In addition to the increase in spirit power, its power has also reached the level of 100,000 jins. Up to now, every small step across it can increase the power of 5,000 jins. With a strength of 100,000 caddies, Lin Haoyang can receive the giant sword from the hands of a believer in the battle against Kai Xiao. It is much easier to kill Kai Xiao. Lin Haoyang squeezed his hand, and the terrifying power burst out, and the extra 10,000 caddies of power made him a little uncomfortable. The strength of 100,000 caddies has reached the level of nascent soul early stage. With the physical body alone, Lin Haoyang can also fight the nascent soul early stage. I punch now. Can I kill a tier 4 demonic beasts? Lin Haoyang said to himself. As long as it is not a descendant with a strong bloodline, even tier 4 top-grade demonic beasts, I can surely beat them to death with one punch. This time, Lin Haoyang's ascension is indeed huge. Inside Dantian, the inner alchemy is perfectly round. At this moment, black accounts for 80%, red accounts for 20%, and red is circulating, as if it is about to evolve into a Taoist-shaped phantom. Lin Haoyang hadn't noticed Dantian at this moment. If someone saw Lin Haoyang Dantian, he would definitely be shocked. The inner alchemy becomes a shadow. This is a sign of breakthrough nascent soul. In addition, Lin Haoyang has a lot of understanding in all aspects, and the power of violent blood and Tianfeng has increased a lot. For the third style, Lin Haoyang also has a lot of understanding, but it is still in its embryonic form and wants to go further. You have to make the sword virtual. It's just a pity that even if Lin Haoyang went to divine sense, he was still at the limit of golden core and did not enter nascent soul. After adjusting his state for a short while, with a wave of his hand, he collected all the boulder fragments on the spot, which is a lot of wealth. Lin Haoyang merged with Jin Ling, and the suppression of him by the magnetic field here was greatly reduced. Soon, with Jin Ling's control over the metallic spirit power, Lin Haoyang was finally able to leave Blade's Edge Mountain. The golden spirit disappears, and after decades, the valley will gradually return to normal, and the magnetism will be dissipated. However, the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda may not be able to wait that long. The sea water is poured in, and the 5th floor will soon be poured in by sea water. When Lin Haoyang left the valley, the outside world was already filled with poisonous gas. Even if Lin Haoyang's body was corroded by the poisonous gas, it was very helpless. Taking out the map, Lin Haoyang fled in one direction, where was the opening position of the passage agreed by Jian Shu and the Yaozu. Since they are acting alone, it is impossible for all of them to be together. They can only book one place and wait for the number of people to go straight to the 6th floor. After half an hour, Lin Haoyang finally came to the location of the passage. At this moment, the passage was opened, and the surrounding poisonous gas was pouring toward the 6th layer, but the amount was not large. Lin Haoyang's closed-door training, coupled with a life and death battle with Kai Xiao, separated, it was almost 4 hours. Jian Shu and others have probably left the 5th floor. With a movement of his body, he immediately rushed into the 6th floor. In the 6th level of water, most of the 99% of the area is sea water. When Lin Haoyang appeared again, he appeared on an island. The island is small, less than 1,000 miles in radius. Lin Haoyang. A voice suddenly remembered that 2 killing intent swords suddenly appeared next to Lin Haoyang, guarding against abnormalities. Seeing clearly, it was 2 human races. Not far away, there were 3 demonic beasts staring at him. The 2 and 3 beasts were all seriously injured. It seems that on the 5th floor, a lot of friction broke out between the 2 sides, and there were casualties. A smile appeared on Lin Haoyang's face, and he said, 2 people, what's the situation? The 2 chuckled and said, ha ha ha, there was a little friction. 3 of us died. I waited for 2 to be seriously injured. Demonic beasts killed 4 and 2 were seriously injured. No loss. Listening to this, Lin Haoyang frowned. Is the battle on the 5th floor so fierce? Moreover, Kai Xiao died in his hands. As a result, the death number of human race was 4. In addition to the 2 who died before, and who entered the 8th stage mysterious tower, 6 people have already fallen, 2 of them were seriously injured, and only 32 people remained. On the demonic beast side, a total of 7 died, 3 were seriously injured, and 50 were still able to fight, still occupying an absolute advantage. It seems that it is not only the battle between the 2 sides, but also the battle within the human race and the sea race. After a few brief conversations, Lin Haoyang left. Everyone had already opened the passage an hour ago and came to the 6th floor. 99% of the water realm is the ocean, which is very beneficial to the sea race, so the human race does not plan to stay too long. After half an hour, the 8th and 7th floor will be opened, leaving Lin Haoyang running out of time. On the 6th floor, there is a special location on the map in Lin Haoyang's hands. Where the Jiling line has been studied for many years, he must first take out the treasure. As soon as he entered the sea, he avoided the water bead and held up a light curtain to prevent the seawater from entering the place. The loss of the Sea Clan is even more serious. It is not that the Sea Clan is not as powerful as the human race, but the previous realms, especially the 5th realm. The Sea Clan was restrained by the environment, suppressed too severely, and its strength was greatly damaged. In this way, the two sides only suffered a 3 to 4 battle loss, which is enough to see the strength of the Sea clan. Where on the map is not too far away from the passage, Lin Haoyang used the spirit to flee for a quarter of an hour and finally arrived at the destination. However, when he arrived, there were some surprises. There were people here in both the human race and the sea race. Lin Haoyang frowned. It seemed that the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda had changed, causing the reality of the treasure land hidden here to be discovered by others. There are 3 people in the human race, Huling from the line of 100 Flowers, Yuan Qi from the line of Mu Zuzi, and Guanfeng from the line of Qian Yuanzi. 3 disciples of Hidao gathered here. On the side of the Sea clan, the strength is stronger: mermaid, tiger shark, dragon, sea elephant, water turtle, 5 big Sea clan powerhouses. Both parties are taking action, wanting to break a submarine mansion. There is a defensive circle on the mansion, which should have existed in Tier 6. For more than 20,000 years, there has been no one to manage and no energy to provide. This place has become extremely desolate, and the mansion is somewhat dilapidated. In the 6th order formation, a large number of runes have also been lost, and the defense power has been greatly reduced by the 3 and 5 beasts. It seems that it will not be long before they can be defeated. Lin Haoyang watched from the side, his eyes condensed slightly. Kuling and others, who were stronger than Kai Xiao, deserved to be a disciple of Hidao Cultivator, extremely powerful. Demonic beasts, the other 5 sea races, are not a good crop. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang smiled and said, "Damn, this mansion is mine. I want to go inside and steal things while I'm away. Even if the human race grabs it, you sea race also want to grab it." The sudden appearance of Lin Haoyang made everyone startled, and they were not the only ones who found this place. Some of the weaker ones were directly driven away by them because they were not qualified. They besieged for a long time, and they are about to break through the formation of the mansion. Now when you say this is yours, believe it or not, we will jointly kill you. Not only the Sea clan was angry, but even Kuling and the others were angry when they heard this. Where did the shameless person come from, dare to say that this place belongs to him? When they saw Lin Haoyang clearly, they were all surprised. Lin Haoyang. I once heard that Ji Lingxi's line is very attached to this place. But how is that? This 8th stage Xuanjing Tower is not yours. Others are afraid that your master is in harmony. They are not afraid. 72%. Chapter 433 Invisible Showdown. Lin Haoyang was helpless. Originally, he thought that the location Zhao Duanlong told him should be very secretive. Only if he knew it, he only had to follow the method Zhao Duanlong gave him. Open the protective formation, and then unlock some restrictions, and you will be able to go to the underwater mansion. Unexpectedly, because of the huge changes in the 8th stage Xuanjing Tower, the seabed mansion revealed itself, and both the human race and the sea race would intervene here. Although the strongest 2 of Jianshu and Yan are not here, it is probably impossible to take the treasures of this place as their own. Everyone was furious, but the mermaid looked solemn when he saw Lin Haoyang, because the bronze crab was planted in Lin Haoyang's hands before, and the mermaid was very concerned about Lin Haoyang. Goodbye now. When everyone was angered by Lin Haoyang's words, she carefully discovered that Lin Haoyang's cultivation base had moved from the 6th floor of the Golden Core to the 8th floor of the Golden Core. How long have they been apart? 4 o'clock in the morning. In 4 hours, Lin Haoyang had ascension 2 small ranks. Even if the High Clan is the most powerful Yan on the weekend, it can't be done. Lin Haoyang's previous Golden Core cultivation base on the 6th floor, she still has the confidence to suppress 1 or 2. Now that Lin Haoyang is on the 8th level of Golden Core, can she still suppress Lin Haoyang? After all, Lin Haoyang is also a disciple of Hidao Cultivator. Moreover, Lin Haoyang is still a dual cultivation cultivator, a powerful physical body that the Sea clan is proud of. Here, Lin Haoyang can't take advantage of it. It is very possible that their physical bodies are not as powerful as Lin Haoyang. Don't be careless, his cultivation base is already ascension to the 8th floor of Golden Core, said the mermaid woman. As soon as he said this, everyone woke up from anger and was a little shocked. How did he do it? Needless to say, Lin Haoyang must have a great chance to live on the 5th floor, even surpassing the Earth's marrow obtained by everyone on the 4th floor. The cultivation base on the 8th floor of Lin Haoyang's Golden Core only surprised the other Tier 4 top-grade demonic beasts. Then, the eyes of the 4 demonic beasts showed ecstasy. Lin Haoyang can get that thing, Ascension 2 small level cultivation base, then they get it, will Ascension reach the same level as Heian? Although not sure, the 4 sea races are still ready to move. What if it is true? When Kuling and others saw this, their brains hurt. It seemed that Lin Haoyang was in trouble and could only get away from the top 5 demonic beasts and leaned to Lin Haoyang's side. After all, Lin Haoyang is a human race, and even a disciple of the 7 Great Harmony, and has something to do with them. However, they never escaped to approach, avoiding Lin Haoyang's misunderstanding. As for this mansion, since Lin Haoyang is here, there must be a way to get in, so naturally there is no need to cooperate with the people of the Sea Clan. Lin, fellow Taoist, we don't care about what you get. We all have a chance. But this mansion, I know that your very spiritual line should have been explored for a long time, and you should have the means to open it. But you are not the opponent of the 5 great sea tribes, we should join hands. Ku Ling said. Lin Haoyang frowned. He did have the means to open the mansion under the sea, but even if the 4 of them joined forces, would they really be able to fight the 5 sea people on the opposite side of the sea? When the mermaid girl heard this, her expression suddenly changed. Lin Haoyang had a means to open this place. She moved her body and took the other 4 people to stand outside the formation. Obviously, the intention is to get a share of the pie. Ha ha ha, I can indeed open the submarine mansion, but this formation is almost broken by you, don't you try to continue. Maybe you can open it yourself. Lin Haoyang laughed. As Lin Haoyang said, the formation is already in jeopardy, and it won't be long before the formation will be broken. But who can be sure that besides protecting the formation, there are no other restrictions in this mansion? According to past experience, these places are definitely more than first stage protection. Just like the marrow of the earth, besides the magma giant, there are guardian beasts beside the marrow of the earth. More importantly, the 4 of Lin Haoyang are here. Do they dare to attack the formation unscrupulously? Okay, don't talk nonsense. Since you have another way to open this formation, let's open it quickly, we are running out of time. As for the distribution of the treasures inside, it should be 4 or 6. After all, we have more people. On the side, Long Zhao said slowly. Listening to this, a hint of irony appeared at the corner of Lin Haoyang's mouth. I started where I started, now you tell me 4 or 6 points. If it weren't for a few large demonic beasts, believe it or not, I punched you to death. Yes, 6 of us, 4 of you. Lin Haoyang smiled. Ha ha ha, you 6. Do you think who are you? Long Zhao laughed, and suddenly a force of pressure came to Lin Haoyang. Long Zhao is the descendant of the 7th Order Demon Emperor, and his bloodline is extremely powerful. He never thought that with the coercion of his 4th Order top grade, he could control Lin Haoyang. While exerting the pressure, he also activated the power of the bloodline, and a dragon phantom suddenly appeared on his inner alchemy, and the dragon's coercive power soared in a straight line, and soon reached the level of the 5th Order low grade. Moreover, it is not the ordinary Tier 5 demonic beasts, but the dragon flood with extremely powerful blood. It is a terrifying existence that can fight the late stage of Tier 5. The pressure came over and fell on Lin Haoyang, causing Lin Haoyang to frown. Tier 5. It seems that these demonic beasts have been underestimated. However, do you think that demonic beasts, the lower grade of Tier 5, can scare me? Lin Haoyang's eyes condensed, and the killing intent squirmed all over his body. This time Lin Haoyang did not condense into a killing intent double sword, but the killing intent wrapped Lin Haoyang. A gray barrier was formed around him. As more and more killing intents emerged, Lin Haoyang was flooded with killing intents within 10 meters of his side. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang's killing intent turned into a boundless murderous intent and went straight to Long Zhao. Murderous spirit collided with the pressure of Tier 5 demonic beasts, and there was not much movement. The pressure is like the ocean, still pressing on Lin Haoyang, but that murderous aura, but with a long knife, only kills Long Zhao's mind. When Kuling and others saw Lin Haoyang fighting Long Zhao Diva, they were not easily shocked. Compared with Long Zhao, Lin Haoyang's full body was full of rich killing intent. How many people or demonic beasts must be killed to condense such a huge killing intent? The pressure of Long Zhao came first, and Lin Haoyang felt a huge pressure depressing it. This pressure was not directed at his physical body, but was directed at the blood in his body. Long Zhao is the blood of the 7th Order Demon Emperor, and Lin Haoyang has an 8th golden core, so what can he resist? Lin Haoyang just wanted to run spirit power to resist the suppression of the blood from Dragon Zhao. As soon as he thought of it, Lin Haoyang heard a sudden change behind him. Under this pressure, his spiritual roots refused to agree. Are you looking down on me? He even dared to suppress it with blood. After absorbing the golden spirit, the golden spiritual roots became extremely powerful. Lin Haoyang guessed that the golden spiritual roots today may not be worse than the double spiritual roots. Spiritual roots exerted their strength and drove Jin Ling to resist this blood pressure. For a while, Lin Haoyang didn't need to do it himself. At this moment, Lin Haoyang's murderous intent was still close to Long Zhao. Like the blood pressure, Lin Haoyang's murderous intent was invisible and could only resist. Long Zhao's face was solemn. When he was locked in by Lin Haoyang's murderous aura, his serious scene changed. They were no longer on the bottom of the sea, but another battlefield appeared. On the battlefield, the corpses of the human races and demonic beasts were piled up, killing intents were monstrous, and there was not a single mouth. No, there is another one. Lin Haoyang held Junyu and cut off the disclosure of the last demonic beasts. Lin Haoyang turned around, eyes full of blood, and a strange smile appeared on his mouth. Sudden, Lin Haoyang's whole body was murderous, turned into a grimacing face, and came straight to Long Zhao. 73%. Chapter 434. One Sword. Countless evil spirits were all transformed by Lin Haoyang's killing intent. When the killing intent came, the whole world suddenly turned into a blood-colored world, and the bodies of everyone and the demon disappeared, only the boundless blood and the killing intent evil spirit. Even Long Zhao trembled in his heart when he saw these killing intent evil spirits. He wanted to fight back, but he found that he couldn't move at all. The evil spirits are very fast, almost in an instant, they have already smashed in front of Long Zhao. In the Scarlet World, the smile on the corner of Lin Haoyang's mouth was getting better and better. Boom! Lin Haoyang's body also exploded into a mass of killing intents, turning into a bigger evil spirit, and went straight to Lin Haoyang to kill. All the evil spirits began to gnaw on the flesh and blood of the dragon flood dragon, taking the dragon flood dragon as food, and devouring it frantically. Outside, the mermaid and other 4 large demonic beasts' complexions changed drastically, and the dragon Zhao stood still, and Qi Chao began to ooze blood donation without moving. On the other hand, Lin Haoyang, the blood pressure created by Long Zhao's burning blood was actually blocked by a faint spiritual roots behind Lin Haoyang, which really shocked them. Spiritual roots. When did it become so powerful? It was still able to block the blood pressure, not to mention that the Sea clan had never seen it before, and Kuling and others had never seen it. To be a disciple of a Hidao cultivator, although it is impossible to all be spiritual roots, the worst is double spiritual roots. I am afraid that only Lin Haoyang is worshipped by the cultivator with the qualifications of the 3 spiritual roots. Hidao cultivator teaches disciples. Without certain talents, they will not accept it. After all, the time of Hidao cultivator is very precious. It is impossible to collect waste from a group of 5 spiritual roots. Even if the 5 spiritual roots cultivator worships under the cultivator, even if you have countless resources, even if you have the cultivator, you can personally give instructions. However, because of your qualifications, there are some truths that you still can't comprehend, and you can't step into nascent soul. Hu Ling, Guan Feng, and Yuan Qi are all different spiritual roots cultivators. When facing Lin Haoyang's golden spiritual roots, they have a feeling of looking at their own spiritual roots. How could this be possible? You know, Lin Haoyang has 3 spiritual roots qualifications. The 3 of them were not stupid, and quickly combined with Lin Haoyang's cultivation bases skyrocketing matter, speculating that Lin Haoyang's golden spiritual roots were so powerful, it should be related to Lin Haoyang's harvest on the 5th floor. But what kind of opportunity? Can spiritual roots ascension reach this level? Obviously, none of the 3 knew about Jin Ling. With the help of the golden spiritual roots, Lin Haoyang easily blocked the suppression of Dragon Zhao's bloodline, leaving the fish and other sea races looking gloomy. Break. Lin Haoyang let out a soft drink, and the golden spiritual roots behind him were golden and generous, and the blood pressure was crushed. The blood pressure was shattered, and Long Zhao was backlashed again, spouting a mouthful of blood. However, Long Zhao also got rid of Lin Haoyang's killing intent. Feeling the blood left by the 7 orifices, Long Zhao felt terrified in his heart. How much life was contaminated by this human race to create that illusion? Obviously, Lin Haoyang won this invisible duel, and it was very easy to win. In fact, the use of illusion on Long Zhao this time is also an attempt by Lin Haoyang. He combined killing intent, murderous intent, and soul-setting skills to achieve such an effect. In other words, Lin Haoyang secretly used the soul-fixing technique, otherwise, the killing intent of the light screen would definitely not achieve such an effect. How is it? Are we eligible to take the 6th Chang? Lin Haoyang said again, regardless of Long Zhao. This time, Long Zhao sighed and stopped talking. Some little tricks. Can anyone turn the tide of the battle? 5 on 4. Still on the bottom of the sea. Do you think you are really sure of 100%? Tiger Shark stood up and said coldly. Hu Ling and the others' complexions condensed. Indeed, as Tiger Shark said, the combat power here is 5 to 4. Even if Lin Haoyang and others are reluctant to admit it, they still do not have the upper hand. Oh, do you think you are really strong? Lin Haoyang said in a hurry. Zhenyu suddenly appeared in his hands. Blood chi broke out. Zhenyu blood chi sword glow covered. Spirit power broke out. Dying sword chi a hint of black. Gold spiritual roots broke out. Dying sword chi a hint of gold. Zhenyu's eruption of power shocked everyone. If Lin Haoyang slashed out that sword, it would definitely be earth-shattering. Tiger Shark's complexion was even more ugly. He said that Lin Haoyang and the others were not as powerful as them. If he didn't dare to take this sword, or couldn't take this sword, then he would hit his own company. Then I'll play with you. The tiger shark roared, his body suddenly enlarged, turning into a huge tiger shark 30 meters long. Tiger Shark, the clan also has a 7th order demon emperor, and is extremely powerful. In the sea, except for the Xiangliu clan, they dare not provoke them, and even other groups such as Mermaid and Dragon are not in the eyes. The tiger shark circulated its blood, and the thick scales of the whole body began to collide violently, making an ear-piercing sound. On Lin Haoyang's side, watching Tiger Shark start his hand, he smiled. If he was past, he might not be Tiger Shark's opponent yet, or he shouldn't make a move, exposing his own strength. However, Lin Haoyang wanted to give it a try. He is now so strong. Zhenyu's sword chi flowed and became more abrupt, with violent blood directly transformed into Tianfeng. At the same time, 1 acupoints on Lin Haoyang's body lit up, constantly providing Lin Haoyang with powerful strength. 50 acupoints were all bright, but all this still didn't stop. Lin Haoyang's vigorous spirit power broke out, carrying the rolling spirit power, rushed to the leg acupoints. Puff, puff. 2 voices that were so subtle that only Lin Haoyang could hear were remembered, and then, on Lin Haoyang's legs, 2 acupoints lighted up again. With the growing cultivation base, Lin Haoyang forcibly opened 2 acupoints. So far, the total number of acupoints opened by Lin Haoyang has reached a terrifying 52, which is only 2 points short of the 36 acupoints that fully opened the violent foot. The opening of the 2 acupoints increased Lin Haoyang's power by 4,000 caddies, making Lin Haoyang's power reach a terrifying 100,000 caddies and 4,000 caddies. Don't look at the growth of only 4,000 caddies, but these 4,000 caddies might become the last straw to overwhelm the camel. After brewing up to now, Lin Haoyang felt that it was enough, and there was no need to expose more whole cards. Subsequently, the collapse of Jin and the violent foot launched, and Lin Haoyang's strength increased by 30%, plus Zhenyu's own strength. Lin Haoyang's this strike, its strength had reached a terrifying 180,000 Jin. I am afraid that only the nascent soul middle stage late stage cultivator can bear the amount of 100,008 kilograms. In other words, the power of Lin Haoyang's sword has reached the full blow of the 5th order middle stage demonic beasts. Zhenyu was very slow, but wherever he went, a sonic boom was hit, a piece of rubble was rolled up, and it was crushed to pieces before it got close to Zhenyu. Hu Ling, Mermaid, etc. saw Lin Haoyang's sword, their expressions changed wildly. They asked themselves, what price would they pay if they took this sword? The mermaid and the other 4 demonic beasts of the sea race immediately moved away from the tiger sharks. They didn't want to be affected by the pond fish. When Tiger Shark saw Lin Haoyang's sword, his heart was full of inconceivability. How could a human cultivator of the 8th golden core be so strong? Zhenyu attacked, and he couldn't allow him to think too much, and knew that ordinary means couldn't stop Zhenyu, and the tiger shark directly burned his blood when he gritted his teeth. This time it was really burning, and his body size increased again, completely turning into a huge object measuring 50 meters. Afterwards, Tiger Shark moved, a white light lit up in his mouth, and went straight to Zhenyu to shoot. 73%. Chapter 435. Seeing the tiger sharks using white light, the mermaid and the others were also surprised. Others didn't know, but they knew that this white light was the method of the tiger sharks to suppress the bottom of the box death light. The death light is very special. It is the talented secret skill of the tiger shark clan, and the death light is not very destructive to the dead. But if this light of death meets a living being, it is definitely a disaster for living beings, because this light of death can annihilate the vitality in life. The extinction of life is enough to see how powerful the death light is. The tiger shark was forced to resort to such methods by Lin Haoyang, and it must have felt a life and death crisis. Lin Haoyang had some understanding of the tiger shark's talent and secret skills in Zhao Duanlong's intelligence, but he only knew the words extinction vitality. These 4 words represent too much, and no more is needed to prove his horror. The tiger shark clan can become the overlord of the sea clan, and it has something to do with this death light. However, at this moment, the sword was in his hand, and he had to send it out. Without retreating, Zhen Yu cut into death. The death light would only corrode the vitality of living beings. Zhen Yu easily passed through the 4 lights and went straight to the tiger shark. In order to make the death light more powerful, the tiger shark tried its best to stimulate the power of the bloodline. At this moment, the size was as large as 50 meters, and Lin Haoyang could not avoid this sword. Lin Haoyang held Zhen Yu in his hand and rushed into the dead light. Zhen Yu held in Dragon Tiger's hands to exert his strongest power. Therefore, he had to cut out this sword himself. As soon as he entered the range of the death light, Lin Haoyang sensed the horror of the death light. Originally, in order to fight the death light, Lin Haoyang arranged a spirit power shield outside of his body, not wanting to completely block the power of the death light. No matter how much time he had to buy himself, Zhen Yu fell on the tiger shark. At Lin Haoyang's current speed, as long as he breathes, Zhen Yu's sharpness will inevitably fall on the tiger shark, and divine sense is locked, and it is inevitable. Unexpectedly, the death shield was destroyed by death light almost instantly and turned into spirit power again. The shield was broken, and the death light fell on Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang suddenly felt tingling all over his body, and an indescribable fear crawled into his heart. Lin Haoyang's complexion changed drastically. Under the shining light of death, he felt that his own vitality was fading rapidly, the vitality of flesh and blood was disappearing, and even his lifespan was rapidly dissolving, and even his original power was disintegrating. This is terrifying. That death light seems to wipe out everything about him and make him completely disappear from this world. Lin Haoyang was awe-inspiring, and sure enough, the talents of the demonic beasts should not be underestimated. If one is not careful, it is very likely that he will lose his life. The next moment the dead light shined, Lin Haoyang mobilized the 10 good fortune orbs in Dantian, scattered all over the body, turning them into strong vitality. Very good. If you kill your life, I will recover. If you kill a little, I will recover a little. I will recover a little. See who can't hold it first. Moreover, my sword is not so easy to pick up. The 10 good fortune orbs spread out and turned into a very strong aura, resisting the erosion of death light for Lin Haoyang. With the erosion speed of the dead light, 10 good fortune orbs can last at most for a breath time. 10 good fortune orbs lasted for a breath time. Lin Haoyang thought about the blood loss. You should know that a good fortune orb is probably for life saving. Ahead, the tiger shark was also taken aback. He knew the power of the death light best, but just now, he actually felt a very strong vitality in Lin Haoyang, which offset his 4 erosions. This reminded him that before he came, he heard from the elders in the clan that the Jiling one was their natural enemy, and their cultivation technique naturally restrained death. For nothing else, it is to consume the life force with you and be extremely bored. Very good. Let me see if your vitality, is it really endless? After a breath, Lin Haoyang killed the tiger shark, and the tiger shark had no intention of retreating. He could feel that immediately, the vitality in Lin Haoyang's body would be exhausted. Without vitality protection, what are you fighting against me? However, just when he thought that Lin Haoyang's vitality was about to collapse, Lin Haoyang suddenly reappeared in his body with vitality, which was no different from the previous one. Lin Haoyang's complexion was pale. Just now, he once again shattered 10 good fortune orbs, providing himself with huge vitality. At this time, Lin Haoyang shattered a total of 20 good fortune orbs. If he could not defeat the tiger shark, he would lose a lot. No, even if he defeated tiger shark, he still suffered a huge loss. The 20 good fortune orbs he lost could not be made up for. What? With anger, Lin Haoyang slashed at the tiger shark with a sword. After a breath of time, Lin Haoyang had already arrived in front of the tiger shark and still couldn't escape the sword. The terrifying sword ray turned into a huge 30-meter big sword, and slashed straight to the tiger shark. The huge sword smashed part of the space directly, forming a crack in the space. The power contained in Zhen Yu's sword was too huge, and all hitting the blade part at the moment, the concentration of power was truly terrifying. Tiger Shark's face changed wildly. He still underestimated Lin Haoyang. As soon as the body turned, the dead energy dissipated. Lin Haoyang used a large amount of life energy to resist his 4 energy attacks, and it was no longer necessary to continue at this moment. The death light can't kill Lin Haoyang in a short time. As soon as the tiger shark's body turned, a human head-sized inner alchemy flew out of its mouth and went straight to Lin Haoyang. Behind it, a huge tiger shark phantom appeared. It was the tiger shark demon emperor hiding in the body of the little tiger shark. Projection of blood. Lin Haoyang slashed with a sword, and first slashed on the inner alchemy comparable to Tier 5 demonic beasts. Bump. As soon as he touched it, the inner alchemy exploded suddenly and turned into an extremely rich spirit power. Lin Haoyang's sword was too strong, and the terrifying power coupled with the sharpness of the sky front, met the tiger shark's inner alchemy and instantly defeated it. The inner alchemy was destroyed, and there was severe pain in the tiger shark's divine sense. He had conceived divine sense in the inner alchemy. Such a blow completely defeated all his previous efforts. After breaking the inner alchemy, Junyu's 30% strength dissipated, and Lin Haoyang still did not retreat. With a single sword, he continued to kill the tiger shark. Oh, your family is really our nemesis. The demon emperor projection behind the tiger shark let out a sigh, and then said helplessly. Afterwards, the tiger shark moved, and the huge phantom waved its tail and collided with Lin Haoyang's Junyu. The tiger shark phantom is huge, although it can't keep up with its real body, it's more than 300 meters. Bump. There was another earth-shattering collision. The tiger shark was directly thrown away by the aftermath of the collision, flew out of the battle circle, and slammed into the formation of the underwater mansion. Even its size returned to its normal size. Everyone didn't care about the tiger shark, but stared at the phantom of Lin Haoyang and the tiger shark demon emperor in horror. Although it is only a bloodline phantom, its strength is by no means comparable to that of a golden core cultivator. However, after Lin Haoyang and Ziying head-on, the tiger shark monster emperor's tail dissipated completely, and Lin Haoyang's right arm holding the sword, the flesh and blood dissipated, leaving only a handful of bones. However, even his bones are full of fissures. The tiger shark monster emperor's eyes were full of dignity, and after a glance, it disappeared completely. The tiger shark was thrown into the air. Without the tiger shark as a medium, he couldn't take advantage of it. This phantom was not the projection of the demon emperor himself, but the tiger shark's projection with the help of blood. Lin Haoyang ignored the dissipated tiger shark demon emperor, but looked at the demonic beasts such as the mermaid, and said Binghan in his form. 6 of us. Do you have any questions? The cloudy and sunny in the eyes of the mermaid has changed, and the dragons and tiger sharks have suffered. Seeing a tiger shark lying in the distance, the corner of the mermaid's mouth twitched, and he whispered wastefully in his heart, and said, "We are all for 73%. Chapter 436 Water Capital Mansion. As the mermaid girl bowed her head, the Sea Clan finally gave up. They were really frightened by Lin Haoyang's methods. Is the tiger shark really weak? She didn't think that even she was not entirely sure that she could take it. Not only did Lin Haoyang take it down completely, but he didn't have much influence yet. What shocked her even more was the power of Lin Haoyang's sword, which not only defeated the tiger shark's inner alchemy, but also smashed a part of the blood projection of the tiger shark monster emperor. Although Lin Haoyang paid the price of an arm, the bloodline projection was broken, which greatly affected the Sea Clan. This may cause their bloodline to be incomplete, unless they are life-threatening, otherwise they will rarely summon the bloodline projection, which can be said to be their last life-saving card. Although there may be good things in the underwater mansion, the mermaid does not want to damage its own blood for the treasures here. Humph. Lin Haoyang hummed lightly and mobilized 10 good fortune orbs again to repair the injury on his right arm. The vitality of the 10 good fortune orbs dispersed, the cracks in the bones of Lin Haoyang's right arm began to close, and new blood began to grow. This time the flesh and blood of the right arm was exploded by the bloodline projection of the tiger shark demon emperor, and there was always a corrosive force on the right arm, corroding Lin Haoyang's vitality, preventing Lin Haoyang from recovering from his injuries. In order to avoid future troubles, Lin Haoyang directly used 10 good fortune orbs to transform them into huge vitality. Lin Haoyang was relieved by directly dissipating the corrosive force and washing it away. However, Lin Haoyang, who was fought in this battle, was not very happy. He destroyed 30 good fortune orbs, which was equivalent to the price of a life crystal. Lin Haoyang glanced at the tiger shark with a gloomy expression. If the underwater mansion cannot make up for the loss this time, he must find a way to make up for the loss from him. The look in Lin Haoyang's eyes, the tiger shark's heart was chilling, and it was even more awkward. It was obviously that I lost the most. Why do you look like you have suffered a huge loss? What scared him even more was that Lin Haoyang's sword was really strong. Everyone looked at Lin Hao's rapid recovery of blood and flesh on his right arm, and couldn't help but twitch the corner of his mouth. With such a serious injury, you recovered like this. So how do you fight this? They struggled with internal alchemy collapse, blood damage, thinking about replacing you with a serious injury, but unexpectedly, you will recover directly. No, it's not a complete recovery. There is still a trace of paleness on his face. Other than that, it's gone. Lin Haoyang turned around and said to Kuling and others, "You should know that this place is where I have studied for generations, but now it automatically emerges, and it is your chance. However, this 60% is my own fight, so I account for 30% for 60% and 10% for each of the three." Quote. Kuling and others didn't have much opinion on this. If it weren't for Lin Haoyang's sudden addition, it would be difficult for them to get 4 or 6 points. With or without Lin Haoyang, they wouldn't have much difference. In this case, it is better to send a favor. After all, Lin Haoyang's strength is not weaker than them. Kuling and the three agreed, and Lin Haoyang nodded. Not surprisingly, the reaction of the three was expected. Now that both sides agreed, Lin Haoyang didn't say more, and immediately repaired his right arm with all his strength. The vitality of the 10 good fortune orbs was terrifying, and Lin Haoyang's arm was completely restored in just a quarter of an hour. The newborn's arms were very fair, like a baby's smooth and tender skin. Lin Haoyang looked a little uncomfortable. Lin Haoyang took care of his recovery, and the others were very anxious. If not, maybe everyone would have broken the formation by themselves within a quarter of an hour. Lin, fellow Taoist, when can the formation start? Kuling couldn't help asking. As a disciple of Hidao, Kuling also had a special location in his hands, but that location was on the 7th floor, not here. This was also Kuling's confidence in daring to move the mansion under the sea. Kuling is not the only one, everyone can't wait. It's very close to the opening of the 7th floor. If it doesn't end, the treasures on the 7th floor won't have much to do with them. Lin Haoyang didn't say anything anymore, and he did change it. Before coming to formation, after several generations of Jiling's exploration, the method of cracking this formation had already been figured out. After taking a look at the formation, Lin Haoyang was sure of it. According to the information Zhao Duanlong gave him, he could definitely break the formation here easily. Point out 5 directions at will, saying, "These 5 places are all attacked with the strength of nascent soul, and the formation will immediately break open." After all, Lin Haoyang stood aside and didn't mean to take action. He was a wounded, and of course he had to be treated as a wounded. The trio of Kuling showed helpless smiles on their faces. "You are so sure that we have the strength of nascent soul?" The 3 of them smiled, did not say anything, each came to a node, ready to do it. On the Sea Clan's side, the mermaid and the dragon Zhao played in person, occupying the remaining 2 nodes. As for the tiger shark and the other 2 demonic beasts, they are not ready to do it. The tiger shark was miserable, the inner alchemy was broken, the bloodline was damaged, and the strength was also greatly affected. It can be said that it has fallen out of the 2nd echelon. Although he also had a treasure given by the elders of the clan to recover from his injuries, the inner alchemy was broken, but it was not so easy to recover, and he needed to be pregnant again. Moreover, the inner alchemy is broken, and Tiger Shark wants to advance to the 5th rank. I am afraid it will be impossible in a short time. Boom. After 5 loud noises, 5 powerful attacks of nascent soul early stage landed on 5 nodes. Crack. It was very difficult to break through the formation before, but at this moment, no one made a concerted effort to defeat the formation. The formation was broken, everyone was overjoyed, this mansion can finally be entered. Suddenly, the 3 human races and the 5 sea races all moved towards the mansion. Lin Haoyang was not in a hurry, but walked slowly towards the mansion. Although everyone had agreed on the share of the harvest before, that part was limited to the treasures discovered in common, as for the things that everyone discovered in private. Of course it belongs to them. This submarine mansion is not big, with no more than 100 houses. With the strength of the cultivation base of 5 people, the search can be completed within half an hour at most. But the premise is that you can come out alive. When Lin Haoyang approached, I saw the 3 words, Shuadu Mansion, written on the mansion. It seemed that Shuadu was the name of this mansion. Lin Haoyang was able to easily defeat the outside formation because someone in the Jiling line once entered, but that time it didn't break all the formations, only broke a part of it, and stole in. Some areas of this Shuadufu have been searched. There are no treasures. Kuling, Mermaid and others blindly search. It is difficult to get too much goods. In Lin Haoyang's mind, there was a map of Shuadu Mansion, which had 99 rooms in total. At this moment, 65 rooms are lit, including the main hall. As for the other 34, it has dimmed, which means that these rooms have been explored by people of the very spiritual line. Because it took too much time to open the formation, and I wanted to open the main hall, I couldn't do it by myself, so I only explored some ordinary rooms and then retired. Longhu came to a side house that was lit up. The house was unoccupied for 20,000 years, and it was a bit dilapidated, but there was still a flow of text on the door of the house. Obviously, these formations are the defensive restrictions laid down by those who lived here in the past to avoid people intruding. Boom. There was an explosion, and it seemed that other people were already breaking their houses strongly. 73%. Chapter 437. Lin Haoyang was not surprised. There were still 65 houses that had not been opened. The other 3 and 5 beasts were unlikely to have bad luck. They all chose the rooms that had been opened. Shaking his head, Lin Haoyang stopped paying attention to other people. The formation on the door should be from the same person as the 6th order formation outside. In other words, the restrictions on these houses used to be the 6th order existence. Xin Hao, no one has taken care of it for 20,000 years. Most of these restrictions have been destroyed. Even so, the restrictions on each house are equivalent to the current Tier 5 mid-range products. The powerful protection is also the reason why everyone can make such a big movement. If you don't make any movement, you can't open it at all. Lin Haoyang didn't even think about cracking it with brute force. Zhao Duanlong's information already gave the cracking method for these houses. But the restrictions of each room are different. Even if Lin Haoyang has a cracking method, he still needs to refer to it. Although Lin Haoyang is not a formation master, he has been with Lin Xuanjia and Duan Hong for a long time, and he still knows a little about formation together. After watching for a while, Lin Haoyang finally figured out the weakness of the restrictions on the house, raised a punch with his right hand, and slammed it on the weakness. Crack. Array restrictions collapsed. Crack. There was another loud noise. This time it was the door, which was directly cracked by Lin Haoyang with a punch. Soon, the door that no one had taken care of for 2,000 years was broken to the ground. Lin Haoyang is a bit miserable himself. Am I so strong? Not far away, a Mizumoto tortoise happily encountered an empty house. Although it was relatively simple to open, it was busy working in vain, which made it very uncomfortable. I was trying to find another house, but I happened to see Lin Haoyang breaking the door of the mansion with a punch. IFK. You are so fierce. How do we play? Shui Yuangui cursed secretly in his heart. However, Shui Yuangui didn't want to find the fault. Lin Haoyang beat the tiger shark with one sword. Although he was good at defense, he didn't want to take Lin Haoyang's sword for nothing. Before Lin Haoyang found him, he stayed away from Lin Haoyang. If this lunatic mistakenly thought he was here to grab the treasure, then he would be taken advantage of. Lin Haoyang actually felt the breath of Shui Yuangui, but seeing the other party's witty departure, he didn't pursue it, so he should first explore the treasure. Opening the door, a simple guest room appeared in front of Lin Haoyang. There are desks and chairs, paintings and calligraphy, etc., but there is not much. Stepping into the house, Lin Haoyang was a little disappointed. The things in this ancient house were not as good as he had imagined. Restrictions here are all Tier 6 bottoming, that is to say, the master here should not leave anything lower than Tier 6. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang's eyes were taken aback. He hadn't paid much attention to the tables and chairs before, but when he touched the tables and chairs, his eyes suddenly changed. Lin Haoyang turned the knife in his hand, cut a corner of a chair, and exclaimed. Purple Jade Spirit Wood. FK. The ancients are really rich. The 5th tier high-grade spirit wood, Purple Jade Spirit Wood, is actually used as a chair. It's so extravagant. After all, Lin Haoyang raised his hand and swept away, and all the tables and chairs in the room were put in his storage bag. After the tables and chairs were empty, the room suddenly became empty. Although there was no other discovery, Lin Haoyang still made a lot of money. This set of tables and chairs, used as materials for the 5th order magical item, is enough to refine 3 or 4 top-grade 5th class magical item now. Lin Haoyang is now a Tier 4 high-grade refiner. Recently, due to cultivation and other things, his refinement level has not improved much. If he wants to be promoted to a Tier 5 refiner, he needs a lot of training. This process may require a large amount of Tier 5 low-grade materials to smash in. This trip to the 8th stage Profound Crystal Pagoda is a good opportunity to collect materials. Looking around again for a week, he found that there was nothing else. Lin Haoyang didn't stay much, and started to the next room. Using his knowledge of restrictions, Lin Haoyang opened the room 30% faster than others, which was his greatest advantage. In other words, when others opened 3 portals, Lin Haoyang was able to open 4, which was an advantage. Soon, everyone's opening speed was divided into 3 levels. At the same time, Lin Haoyang was able to open 4 rooms, and the cooling 3 people and the mermaid 3 beasts could open 3 rooms. The weakest are the 2 beasts, the water fish and turtles and the sea little elephant. The 2 beasts are weaker, and they are not very attributed to these formations. They can only rely on their strength to open up, so in a short time, only 2 can be opened. In addition, everyone will encounter those rooms that have been opened before. If they encounter such a room, they will basically receive 0 goods. Everyone who entered the Shuadu mansion, except for Lin Haoyang, almost all encountered vacant rooms, and every time they opened the vacant room, they would feel irritable. Half an hour later, Lin Haoyang opened the 11th room, and suddenly a golden light flashed. A sword hanging on the beam of the room suddenly cut out a large piece of sword ray and killed Lin Haoyang. Before opening 10 houses, Lin Haoyang has gained a lot, and he has not encountered a treasure backlash. Sword ray cut, Lin Haoyang's pupils tightened, killing intent double swords appeared beside him, and went straight to the sword ray to cut away. Killing intent double swords used a sword from the sky, and 2 black sword beams slashed towards the attacking sword ray. Bump. 2 killing intent sword lights shattered, and the sword ray's power consumed more than half, with only 30% remaining. Lin Haoyang wrapped spirit power in his hand and hit the sword ray with a punch. The sword ray, with only 30% of the power left, was no longer a threat to Lin Haoyang. The powerful body, coupled with the terrifying power, broke the sword ray with one punch. The sword ray dissipated, and a black spot appeared between Lin Haoyang's eyebrows and went straight to the flying sword hanging on the beam. At the same time, Lin Haoyang made a big hand and wanted to capture flying sword in his hands. This flying sword should be the owner of the room, used to fight against all the people in the field. Even if no one is prompted, its power has reached the level of nascent soul early stage. Its specific rank is definitely not lower than the 5th rank, it is very likely to be the 5th rank top grade magical item. More importantly, after 20,000 years, it can still reach the level of Tier 5. At its peak, it is probably a Tier 6 magical item. Lin Haoyang opened his hand and fished it to flying sword. At this moment, the soul-fixing black silk hit the flying sword trembled slightly, and all flying sword wanted to go out. It was just a pause in this moment that gave Lin Haoyang an opportunity to grasp the hilt of the flying sword with one hand. Flying sword was under control, suddenly furious, and began to struggle frantically. Bump. Suddenly, the scabbard shattered, turning into fragments and snakes toward the room. At the same time, the sword chi that existed in the sword exploded and began to attack the items in the room indiscriminately. In just a short while, everything in the room was broken and damaged a lot. Lin Haoyang is also not a pity. The most precious thing in this house is such a flying sword. As long as you take it, you won't lose. There was a lot of movement in Lin Haoyang's room, which shocked the others. A smile appeared on the corners of Cooling and others' mouths, and they all rushed to Lin Haoyang. The Sea clan had the same idea. Obviously, they thought that Lin Haoyang had found something good here. Since there was an agreement before, of course we have to get a share of the pie. Lin Haoyang also knew that the noise was so huge that if he couldn't suppress this sword right away, he might be in trouble. Town. Lin Haoyang was ruthless in his heart, and the phantom of the Buddha statue emerged, and an unusually powerful wave spread out, instantly suppressing the flying sword in his hand. As soon as the Buddha statue appeared, flying sword was immediately obedient and no longer resisted. At this time, everyone rushed over and said in doubt, "Lin, fellow Taoist, what's the trouble? Let's help you." 73%. Chapter 438 Three Suns Gathering Array. Lin Haoyang frowned. As soon as there was a little movement on his side, these people came, and they paid enough attention to him. At this moment, the phantom of the Buddha statue had suppressed the flying sword, a colorful light appeared in Lin Haoyang's hand, and the flying sword disappeared immediately. Everyone, when you entered this place just now, restrictions were launched. After a bitter struggle, it was destroyed. However, after a bitter struggle, there is nothing left here. If you don't dislike it, the things here will be given to you. After Lin Haoyang said, he left the room without paying attention to everyone. The other people's faces were gloomy. Lin Haoyang should have happened in the room, a good baby, and after a bitter struggle, he suppressed the movement and statics here. It is very possible that the baby is the flying sword in Lin Haoyang's hand, otherwise, why did he put away the flying sword in a hurry when everyone arrived? What to do? Yuan Qi asked. A smile appeared on Ku Ling's face. The walls of the house here are extremely well protected, but Sword Qi's injuries are fragmented. That flying sword must be a tier 5 magical item. However, there is only one flying sword. Can they still intimidate Lin Haoyang to divide flying sword into several parts, and then distribute them to them? This is simply impossible. It is better to have the treasure taken by Lin Haoyang than by the mermaid and other sea clan. Everyone, everything is here, you can take it yourself if you want it. Ku Ling said, and walked out the door with a smile on his face. When the three of Ku Ling left, the mermaid's face was so gloomy. During this time, she opened a total of 9 ancient houses, and the number was already large. However, 2 of the ancient houses have been explored, and there is nothing at all. In general, there are only 7 houses in total. Don't worry, Lin Haoyang is not easy to mess with, he should know some ways to turn on restrictions, there is no need to tear his face with him. After so long, the others have already gone to the 7th floor. At this moment, they should go to the main hall and the partial hall. For the flying sword, it is unnecessary to waste time here. Open the main hall and the partial hall and go to the 7th floor as soon as possible. The mermaid said. Long Jiao, Tiger Shark and other sea races nodded. The mermaid said it was reasonable. For a magical item, he turned his face with Lin Haoyang. It was indeed a bit unwise. Lin Haoyang might have the method to open the main and partial halls. Soon, the 5 sea clan also withdrew out, and now Lin Haoyang and others may be going to open the partial hall. They must go and see, otherwise the loss will be too great. As for other houses, they can only be abandoned. When the mermaid and the sea clan rushed to the vicinity of the Piandian, Lin Haoyang and others had already arrived and had already observed the formation of Piandian. Seeing the mermaid and others arrived, Lin Haoyang kept silent about what happened in the house just now, coldly said. Everyone, we've spent too much time here, and everyone else should have already reached the 7th floor, so there can be no more delays. Lin fellow Taoist is right. I really can't delay here anymore, but the restrictions of the partial hall are too powerful, and it is comparable to the large protective array outside, and the array of the main hall is even more powerful. If you attack, I am afraid that the 7th floor will not be my turn to intervene. At this time, what means does Lin Haoyang have? Don't hide it anymore. Yuan Kadao. I think what Yuan Qi said is very reasonable. At this time, if there are any means, don't hide it anymore. If there is a need for help from me, we will do it ourselves. Mermaid said. Hearing this, Lin Haoyang nodded, his expression relaxed a little. Duan Hong once studied this partial palace text and gave a way to crack it. However, this method of cracking is not something that Lin Haoyang can accomplish alone. Someone must cooperate. I can tell the cracking method, but for the treasures in it, I have to choose one first, and the others will be divided according to the ratio previously stated. Lin Haoyang said. Ku Ling, mermaid and others frowned, so that the best treasure went to Lin Haoyang, and they were still a little bit reluctant. These people are not Hidao disciples, or noble blood, ordinary treasures can't enter their eyes. But if they didn't agree to Lin Haoyang's request, this partial hall and main hall would probably not be able to enter today. As for picking it up next time, now that the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda has changed dramatically, who can be sure that the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda can be opened again next time? Other people, except for Lin Haoyang, no one has opened a house with more than double digits. Among them are some houses that have been broken open. Even so, everyone still gains a lot, so everyone is very coveted for the things in the partial hall and the main hall. Lin Haoyang knew that the harvest was huge, and guessed that everyone would not refuse, so he suggested that he should choose a treasure first. The 3 Ku Ling glanced at each other and said, if Lin fellow Taoist really has a way to break the formation, I will wait for the 3 of you, and I am willing to let Lin fellow Taoist choose a treasure first. Ku Ling and the 3 agreed, and Lin Haoyang's gaze fell on the mermaid and other marine tribes. The human race and the sea race are naturally hostile. Although they cooperated for a short time at this moment, they were all for treasures. Although the mermaid and others have the bloodline of Tier 6 and Tier 7 demonic beasts, the Sea Clan often does not look at the bloodline, but only pays attention to the strength. As for the 5 demonic beasts, including the mermaid, although they were all top powerhouses at Tier 4, their advantages were no longer so obvious at Tier 5 and Tier 6. Because they were born late, they missed a lot of opportunities. Sometimes, they still need to fight for the resources of their cultivation base growth. What Lin Haoyang wanted was just a treasure. Even if Lin Haoyang didn't want it, could it really fall on them? It's not that simple. The treasure is too good. After going out, it is very likely to be taken by the extremely 7th Order Demon Emperor, and the gain is not worth the loss. It is better to take some Demon Emperor look down on, which is more in their interests. Mermaid and other 5 demonic beasts discussed it, and finally agreed that Lin Haoyang would choose a treasure first after opening the formation. With the approval of both parties, Lin Haoyang began to study this formation. After several generations of Jiling's disciples brought home news, plus, Duan Hong had also been here before, and he had some understanding of the Piandian formation. Duan Hong was the strongest line of extreme spirit who broke the water capital before, but that time, although Duan Hong found a way to crack the formation, he hesitated and didn't have enough manpower to open the formation. The formation of this partial hall was named by Duan Hong Sanyang Jushin Formation. According to Duan Hong, the Sanyang Gathering of Gods formation has 3 formation centers. Only by destroying the 3 formation centers at the same time can the formation be broken. When Duan Hong entered the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda, although the cultivation base was only in the golden core, the formation method had already reached the 5th stage. Everyone, this formation is called Sanyang Jushin Formation, and the 3 formation centers need to be broken with the golden core middle stage cultivation base. And I need to host the big formation, so you need to break through the 3 formation centers. Lin Haoyang said. Lin Haoyang talked about cracking the formation. As for whether they can crack the 3 formations, it is not what he needs to care about. However, according to Lin Haoyang's speculation, these people definitely have a way to break the formation center. When Lin Haoyang said that he needed 3 golden core middle stage attacks, everyone frowned. They used their methods to explode the power of the golden core middle stage, which was still possible. However, this will inevitably expose the whole cards, which makes them a little worried. After all, everyone is heading for the 8th floor, and now they have exposed their whole cards, which is very detrimental to them. 73%. Chapter 439. Seeing everyone embarrassed, Lin Haoyang said again. If everyone feels embarrassed, you don't have to break the side hall and go directly to the 7th floor to explore. Lin Haoyang looked indifferent. He had already exposed a part of his strength before, and he wished that these people would show all their housekeeping skills. Just like a tiger shark, his death is really terrifying. If it weren't for cultivation technique restraint, he might have been planted in his hands. Lin, fellow Taoist, do I have to have nascent soul middle stage? Guan Feng said, not very talking. Lin Haoyang just nodded. He didn't hide this point. Only 3 attacks that reached the power of nascent soul middle stage could attack the formation. Okay, I will occupy one place. Guan Feng didn't say much, directly indicating that he would occupy a stronghold. Yuan Qiansheng smiled and said, Lin, fellow Taoist, then I will occupy one place too. With the strength of the nascent soul middle stage, it was extremely difficult for Golden Core Realm to explode with such power. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Yuan Qi and Guan Feng agreed to it with such a simple answer. It seems that both of them have extremely powerful means. Moreover, it is very likely that the 2 of them have been suppressing the Golden Core Realm for many years because of this, in order to enter the 8th stage mysterious tower. Human race has occupied 2 positions on one side, and I won't grab the last one, I will leave it to you. Ku Ling smiled and did not fight for the last position. Even Ku Ling is a bit shocked at the moment, these 2 boys are so strong. Nascent soul middle stages attack, just come. The corner of the mermaid's mouth twitched. Who was the last one to send? After thinking for a while, the mermaid smiled and said, Shuiyuangui and Halixiang, with your cooperation, you can display the strength of Tier 5 middle stage demonic beasts. It should be no problem. Say it. The 2 beasts, the water element turtle and the sea elephant, looked bitter. They are good, and in some respects alone, they are indeed no worse than the 5th order early stage demonic beasts. But they are embarrassed if they want to show the strength of Tier 5 middle stage demonic beasts. In the distance, Lin Haoyang frowned. What does mermaid mean? You have the strength of the 5th tier mid-rank, I don't doubt it at all. Now that you are hiding like this, I even doubt that your strength is even more than the 5th tier middle grade. As for the fact that Shui Yuengui and Halixiang can jointly exert the strength of the 5th tier mid-level, Lin Haoyang is not worried at all. As long as one is killed, the threat is not big. When the two demonic beasts were anxious, the voice of a mermaid heard in their ears. 2. If you are willing to make a move, after going out, the two can enter the Holy Blood Secret Realm. When I heard the Holy Blood Secret Realm, Mizawan Turtle and Halixiang, their expressions changed. They did have some tricks, originally intended as a killer, but compared with the Holy Blood Secret Realm, all these are not enough. The Holy Blood Secret Realm is of little use to the human race, but to the demon race, it has irresistible temptation. Because the Holy Blood Secret Realm can purify the bloodline and make the bloodline go further, demonic beasts respects the bloodline and decides the future height. Therefore, when the mermaid said the secret realm of the holy blood, the two demons no longer objected and no longer hide. Okay, the last stronghold will be handed over to me and Mizumoto Turtle. Halixiang said. But, please don't let the mermaid clan go wrong, otherwise, we will cause trouble to the king. The mermaid's face remained calm and said, I will obey the agreement. At this point, the people who cracked the strongholds had been selected, and Lin Haoyang didn't care about their purpose, as long as he had nothing to do. Lin Haoyang volleyed a little, and dropped 3 black dots on the formation of the partial hall, saying, These 3 places are the 3 centers of this formation. When I say hands on, I hope you don't keep your hands. At this moment, Guan Feng, Yuan Qi, Hai Li Shang, and Shui Yuan Turtle do not say anything. Breaking the formation is the most important thing. Lin Haoyang stopped talking nonsense, moved his feet and came to the top of the partial hall. According to Duan Hong, the gathering place of the 3 suns gathering formation was here. There is no need to use brute force to break it in the place of concentration, just use divine sense to pull it. Lin Haoyang urged divine sense and integrated it into the formation. For a while, Lin Haoyang felt that divine sense was scattered like a spider web. After 2 or 3 breaths, Lin Haoyang's divine sense has spread all over the formation, and soon he can figure out the structure of the entire formation. In his mind, an inverted semicircle pattern appeared. This thing is the Sanyang gathering array. The 3 suns concentration formation is different from other formations. The creators of the formation are ingenious and put the focus of the formation on concentration. If there is a correct method, you only need to break the 3 suns to open the formation. But if there is no correct way to solve it, the 3 suns will evolve, each evolving into 2 fake suns, turning into 9, that is to say, it takes 9 nascent soul middle stage to break the formation. This is still 20,000 years later, and the formation is broken. If the formation is complete, a formation may need 9 middle stage, or even late stage, to break open. Such a stroke of magic shocked Lin Haoyang, and also shocked Duan Hong back then. With this insight, Duan Hong's formation has gradually developed into the method of evolution. However, in the current cultivation world, there is not much involved in the evolution of formation, and Duan Hong alone has to study it. This is why Duan Hong's formation has been stuck in the 5th order high-grade nascent soul, because he has not been able to deduce a 6th order evolution formation. Looking at the 3 suns gathering array in his mind, Lin Haoyang became interested in the way of formation. Before he knew it, Lin Haoyang had already entered the way of formation. From the time he used the magic of formation to break the house restrictions, he had already entered this way. Moreover, it was not the first time to enter. Lin Haoyang reached the 3rd level as soon as he entered the way of formation. Now I feel the evolution of formation again and understand its subtlety, and his way of formation has gradually developed into the way of evolution. A quarter of an hour later, Lin Haoyang's eyes lit up and Lin Haoyang determined the exact location of the 3 suns. With a movement of his hand, the 3 bright spots on the formation moved to the exact location. Having determined the location of Sanyang, Lin Haoyang floated in the air and left the formation. Everyone, the position of Sanyang has been determined, do it. As soon as Lin Haoyang's voice fell, Yuan Qi, Guan Feng, Halixiang, and Shui Yuengui all acted automatically. There was a dead branch in Yuan Qi. I don't know what material it was, and Lin Haoyang didn't see it either. Guan Feng slapped a seal to form a Shantian Daoan and hit a center. As for the Shui Yuan Turtle and the Halixiang, they burned their bloodlines and displayed their strongest talents and supernatural powers. The 2 monsters combined their forces and their power reached the level of nascent soul middle stage. Boom, boom, boom. 3 loud noises and 3 bright spots were hit. The dead branches of Yuan-Chi seemed ordinary, and their power was indeed extremely strong. The Sanyang gathering array's counterattack was quickly suppressed by it. What shocked Lin Haoyang the most was the seal of the seal, the Shantian Daoan, which had a mysterious abnormality. The collision continued. Guanfeng and others were strong, and the Sanyang gathering array was not weak. The two sides fought for a stick of incense for time. When the bloodlines of Shui Yuan Turtle and Halixiang both began to appear turbulent, the Sanyang gathered their minds and trembled. Boom! A louder sound spread, and the Sanyang focusing formation was completely broken. The moment the formation was broken, everyone, including Lin Haoyang, shot into the partial hall for the first time. 74%. Chapter 440. Lin Haoyang, Hu Ling, Mermaid, Tiger Shark, Long Zhao and the others rushed into the partial hall in a flash, and then the others broke the seal of Sanyang. The side hall is large, mainly black. There is a statue inside. Around the statue, there are hundreds of puppets wearing heavy armor and holding long spears. Most of the puppets are black armor, and the top 5 are wearing red armor. Except for the puppets and statues, there is nothing else in this side hall. Looking at these puppets, Lin Haoyang's heart was shocked. Together with the puppets, he has no talent, but he still has knowledge. With just a glance, he could see that these black puppets were all tier 5 puppets. As for the red puppets, they are the 5th tier top grade. In other words, in this great hall, there are a total of 5 high-grade puppets, 5 low-grade puppets, hundreds of them. With such a huge number of puppets, even if it is an early stage of the God of Transformation, it is possible. However, it is extremely difficult to control such a large number of puppets. These puppets are not afraid of death at all. Even if they are to be destroyed, they can explode and die with you. This is the terrible thing about puppets. The Great Hall is very quiet, and everyone can hear the heavy breathing. If there is no agreement signed before, I am afraid that everyone is already fighting for life at this moment. 4 more figures fell, and Guanfeng and others who had broken the Sanyang center arrived. Seeing more than 100 puppets, Yuan-Chi Shuangyang shines brightly. What he repaired is the way of puppets, and there are 5th order puppets in his hands. Seeing these puppets, he was more excited than the others. He wanted to use the puppet insights way of puppets in the fairy world. Suddenly, Yuan-Chi's expression changed. No longer the previous calmness, withered branches in his hands appeared, and his voice was cold and cold. I want 1 red armor and 2 black armors. If I don't agree, I will fight to the death. Hearing this, everyone frowned. Needless to say, the most precious thing here must be these red armors. However, there are only 5 red armors, and Yuan-Chi's attitude is so hard at this moment. This matter is not easy to solve. Lin Haoyang had the priority to choose, so he would inevitably pick 1 red armor, and only 4 were left. The rest of the people want it. How can they be divided? Seeing that something is wrong, Mizumoto Turtle and Halixiang said suddenly. The 2 of us only need 10 black armored puppets. We will not participate in the red armored puppet competition. Regarding the words of the 2, everyone didn't care. They were not qualified to participate in the red armor competition. As for Yuan-Chi being so excited, Hu Ling and Guanfeng know one thing. This guy is a puppet master himself. If you don't give it, you really dare to fight you hard. Suddenly, Hu Ling stretched out his hand to grabbed 20 black armored puppets and threw them to Shui Yuan Turtle and Haley Elephant, saying, if you take something, you are blind. Deaf. Otherwise. You can't get out of the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda. Hu Ling's voice was tempting and threatening, which made the 2 sea race demonic beasts feel terrified in their hearts. Seeing the 10 black armored puppets they got, their eyes lit up. With these things, even if they met the second batch of people, they would have the power to fight. As for what the mermaid and the 3 monsters are going to do, they really can't get involved. After all, they also signed the covenant. Now that they took things, they were relieved, and they didn't have to lose their lives for those red armors. The withdrawal of Shui Yuan Turtle and Halixiang brought the Sea Clan into a disadvantage instantly. The 3 major demonic beasts, including the mermaid, all want to smash the corpses of the water turtle and the sea elephant. The battle, once again tilted to the side of the human race. When everyone's eyes were on the red-clad puppet, Lin Haoyang's eyes fell on the statue. The puppets in the Great Hall are very powerful. If this force is released, it will be enough to sweep the demonic beasts of the Sea Clan that enters here. However, Lin Haoyang's focus was not on them. These puppets are powerful, but at this moment, they seem to be under review, and that statue is their master. Even the 5 red puppets are like this. Lin Haoyang's divine sense explored, but found no abnormality. The stone statue seemed to be a simple stone statue without any effect at all. Otherwise, Ku Ling and others would not turn their eyes on the red armored puppets, because they had all probed, and this stone statue was just a simple stone statue without any special purpose. Xiao Jin, is there any secret to this stone statue? Lin Haoyang couldn't tell, so he called out Xiao Jinlong. After little Jinlong observed for a while, he said, the stone statue is just an ordinary stone statue, but there is a special mark on him, which is related to this fairy Dao magical item. It should come from the same source. I don't know what exactly it does. Listening to this, Lin Haoyang's heart was shocked. This stone statue really has something. Soon, Lin Haoyang realized that this thing is tasteless, although this thing has something to do with the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda, but who is sure this thing is useful? If it's useless, once the 8th stage mysterious crystal pagoda comes out, this thing is a waste, completely turned into a stone. Just when Lin Haoyang was thinking about whether to gamble once, Ku Ling said, Lin fellow Taoist, you said before that you have to pick one thing first. I let those 2 pick something first. You won't have any opinions, right? Lin Haoyang smiled, and he naturally understood what Ku Ling meant. He was the same human race, and he still had to give the face that should be given. Ku Ling fellow Taoist is kind, since the 2 only chose some black armors, naturally it doesn't matter. Lin Haoyang said. Then fellow Taoist Lin, want to choose a red armor? The mermaid asked with gloomy eyes. Others looked to Lin Haoyang. As long as Lin Haoyang had made a choice, it was time for them to take action. Lin Haoyang's vitality turned his hands and grabbed the red armor in front of him. Although the stone statue was important, only the red armor could directly ascension his combat power. In an instant, a red armor was grabbed by him, and immediately put it into the storage bag. The moment Lin Haoyang put away the red armor, the other 3 and the 3 beasts exploded with supernatural powers and grabbed the other 4 red armors. Among them, Yuan Qi went crazy. The dead branch in his hand rose and turned into a towering giant tree, instantly sealing a red armor. Until this time, everyone knew that this dead tree was definitely a tier 6 spiritual creature, but it had not been refined into a magical item. Yuan Qi can be urged. I am afraid it depends on years of pregnancy, and this can be controlled. When Yuan Qi has enough strength in the future, he only needs to refining briefly, and he will be able to have a tier 6 magical item like an arm's finger, which is a good plan. But this also requires great courage. There are not many spiritual things that can be conceived by Golden Core, and fewer people can obtain tier 6 spiritual things. Golden Core has tier 6 spiritual things, and there are few that have not been killed or won. At this moment, Yuan Qi was completely crazy for a red armor, exposing his strongest trump card. When encountering such a lunatic, the mermaid and other sea people can only admit that they are unlucky, as a red armor, lost their lives, and even seriously injured, some are not worth it. No one stopped. Yuan Qi successfully received 1 red armor, leaving the others alone. Yuan Qi put away 2 black armors again. He didn't take any more when he spoke. When other people saw this, they didn't care about him anymore, and began to fight for the 3 puppets under him. Lin Haoyang looked at the crowds and ignored them. He walked to the stone statue, waved his hand, and put the stone statue in the storage bag. Seeing Lin Haoyang receive the stone statue, Yuan Qi frowned and said nothing. As long as he took the benefit of own, it was all right. Lin Haoyang glanced at Yuan Qi and didn't care, regardless of the 2 and 3 beasts who were fighting. With a wave of his hand, 30 puppets were put into the storage bag. Afterwards, he left the side hall and allowed them to snatch here. As for the main hall, Lin Haoyang never thought it could be opened. Because, according to Duan Hong's calculations, to open the main hall, you need 3 gods and 6 nascent soul late stage. Although they all have hidden clumsiness, don't even think about opening the main hall. Don't even think about opening the main hall. Don't even think about